Hello folks, good morning. Can you guys hear me loud and clear? Is my audio and my stream clear or not? Let me know in the chat. Thank you. Thank you everyone. So that's what I'm basically looking at on US 30. So if I take you guys on 4-hour chart, you will see that price that these two up close candle, that's our order block, and you can see that how beautifully price came up here and got rejected from these two order block right here. And that's what I'm watching. I updated you guys about this on Telegram when price was just dropping from this order block. I posted a picture on Telegram, and you guys know that why that drop happened, because of this 4-hour order block, these two order block. And if I take you on 60-minute chart, you can see the price generated equal lows down here as a strong level of sell side liquidity. So that's what we can target. That's what I'm thinking about targeting. But if I take you on 50-minute chart, you can see the price is now inside of this BC right here. So for me to look a bearish price action, or for me to target internal sell side or equal low here, I'll have to see a reaction or rejection in price inside this BC, from inside this BC right here. So that's what I'm expecting to see. And inside this BC, inside this 50-minute BC, we have another fair value gap right here. That's a 50-minute fair value gap. So let's see how price reacts from it. It's inside of our 4-hour order block. So price got rejected from here. We do have internal buy side liquidity up here, but I'm not expecting a run on here. But we will see. Okay, if price shows willingness to go there, if price comes up from this BC right here, that's a BC, and you can see that price is rejecting from the midway, right? So if price is closing candle's body above this fair value gap, above this BC, I think I can target this high here, this high that you see here, and then the high above here if price still shows us willingness to go there. So these two will be my target. Nothing clean right now. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for our time to get matched. Okay, it's 8:02 and our macro starts at 8:20, right? So I'm waiting for my time to provide me a clean analysis on US 30. So basically that's what I'm watching at US 30. If price is closing a candle body above this BC, 50-minute BC, I'm expecting a run on here. If it does not do that, if price is rejecting, then I'm expecting a fill up of this gap and then a run on this here, this red line that you see here. Below this we have above this we have equal lows, and I'm expecting a run on here. And after that, if price is still willing to go towards the sell side, it can come down here. You can see these are really clean levels right here, and price got support from our daily fair value gap that I outlined on my bias session. If you missed it, you can go back and watch the bias session. I gave you guys targets in that session, and both of the target that I gave you, target 1 and target 2, the high probability targets got hit. And if you don't know the reason why price came down to this fair value gap, go ahead and watch that daily bias session episode 3 that I made, and I explained everything what I was expecting and how I was expecting and why I was expecting. And you can see the price indeed came down, tapped into our daily fair value gap. That was our target 2. Our target 1 was somewhere around here, I guess. Yeah, someone around below this low here. That was our target 1. That was our high probability target. And then this fair value gap, that's the daily fair value gap. So this fair value gap was my target 2. That was also a high probability target, and I explained in that video why this target was a high probability target, and how do you know a target is a high probability target. That's something not not many people talks about. So if you are interested in that, you can go ahead and watch my daily bias session episode 3 on my live section, or you can find that in my playlist about daily bias. So let's talk about US 100. On US 100, if I take you on to the 60-minute chart, yeah, so that's what I'm looking at on US 100. These two levels, I marked internal buy side liquidity. I'm expecting a run on sell side after price takes out liquidity from buy side. Okay, so that's the breaker block here. Price did a generated a higher high, then a new higher high here, right? So our stop hunt is here. If I mark it for you, it will become easier for some of you who are new here or who have no experience with like stop hunt and stuff. So that's a stop hunt here, and then price went below, closed the candles body below this down close candle. So this down close candles becomes our breaker block. Price already showed a rejection in price from this breaker block right here. You can see that that's a unicorn, right? These down close candles are our breaker block. Then we have a fair value gap inside this breaker block. So what does this breaker block becomes? A unicorn. So yeah, so I'm watching like if price still get rejects from this breaker block right here, because price generated in internal buy side liquidity here and then here, which is inside this breaker block. And we know that after price takes out a major swing high, right? I'm on hourly chart, so this swing high that you see here, that's coming with relative equal high. You can see that these equal highs are relatively equal. So let's see what price does. If price comes up and reject from here, right, internal buy side liquidity is here, then we have target. If I take you on 50-minute chart, you will see that we have clean target right here. That's a low, relative equal low, then another low, another relative equal low, another low. So let's see what price does. Okay, I do see target, I do see from where price should reject. So now it's up to price from where it wanna reject. So the way I trade, I basically move my bias with the price action. I'm not like you, like I'm gonna only take short or whatever. If I have a strong target towards the sell side like this, okay, I will only take short. But my bias depends on how price is behaving. I'm not gonna take a short if I don't see any confirmation from price that support my trade idea. So that's what I'm looking at on US 100. We will see what happens. Okay, and that's our this box that you see here, that's our breaker block. So keep that in mind, and inside this breaker block we do have strong level of buy side liquidity. Price took one buy side liquidity here, then we have buy side liquidity up here again. And if I toggle on the new week opening gap, you will see that how beautifully price is rejecting from this new week opening gap. That's a new week opening gap here, and you can see the price came down, got support from it, didn't even close the candle's body inside this new week opening gap. And there's another new day opening gap, that's a big gap here. We can also say it as a liquidity void, right? There's no price action inside here, so it's a new day opening gap. Yeah, new day opening gap, and I think you can call it liquidity void, you know. So that's the definition of a liquidity void. When price has no wicks inside of a range, that becomes a liquidity void, not a volume imbalance. A volume imbalance, it would have been a volume imbalance if price had like wick covering this gap here. If there was wick, it would have been a volume imbalance, but there's no wick, so basically it's a liquidity void, but at the same time it's a new day opening gap. So let's see what price does. We do have clean targets, we do have this new day opening gap here, down here, and then another new day opening gap. If I zoom in a little bit, you will be able to see that our new day opening gap is here, right? So price went above, closed the candle's body above the new week opening gap, then came down, got support from it, and just like provided buy side liquidity aggressively. So the concept that I share with you on breaker block, like we wait for the candle's body closure above or below the breaker block, right? And then we engage. You can see the same thing repeating on every other freaking concept. New day opening gap, same thing, price closed the candle's body above. So what do we expect? if we have higher level of targets, strong targets, we want to see price remaining heavy towards the buy side. So that's what we saw, right? What do you see here? That's a new week opening gap. Did price close the candle's body? I'm on 50-minute chart. Did price close the candle's body below this new week opening gap? No. So what do we expect? We expect to see price remaining heavy towards the buy side. It's a hindsight analysis, but folks, it works. Okay. When I see, if I see if I see price coming inside a new day opening gap or new week opening gap, I'll tell you to measure it and see how price behaving from it. And we have another new day opening gap here, and above it we have buy side liquidity, right? That's the internal buy side liquidity right here. So let's see how price reacts. And if price still wanna come up and offer more buy side liquidity, right? That's the level. That's our internal buy side liquidity right here. I think you can see it, and with that we have a new week opening gap paired. So I'm expecting a drop from this here. So let's see what price does. Like that's a strong level of liquidity that is paired with this new week opening gap plus breaker block plus internal buy side liquidity, which comes with like a lot of relative equal highs. So let's see what price does. I'm not expecting anything right now, right? We do have target, we do see how price is behaving, but there's no trade idea right now. Okay, let's talk about Euro USD. Okay, before I do that, let's talk about dollar. I'm gonna keep talking about forex from now on, okay? Because I've been like not trading. I was on trading with my live funds on Euro USD, but I was checking out how Euro USD behaves for like 6 or 7 months, and I think it really does behave good. Most of the time it consolidates, but other than that, when it's like trending, it behaves really good. It follows algo to the tick. Okay, I'm gonna hide the new week opening gap for now, and I'll talk about it after some time. You can see that I'm on dollar chart, I'm on 50-minute chart, and if I take on the hourly chart, that's where the magic is happening. Okay, this is a BPR. If you guys have been watching my stream for like, if you are not new here, I outlined this BPR before price actually came here. Even this fair value gap, if you guys remember, I outlined these two targets to you guys and told you if price wanna reject, if price wanna get support towards the buy side, it will get from either of these. Other than that, if it's rejecting from either of these, it will hunt sell side liquidity. If you guys remember, let me know in the chat. And that's a BPR that I outlined. And what is a BPR? BPR is a balanced price range, and it's basically a gigantic pool of liquidity. If price is coming down here inside of a BPR, you should expect to see a rejection in BPR. My volume is low. Really? Is it good now? Okay, folks, let me know if my audio is clear. If I talk like this, is it clear or not? Okay, thank you so much. I think if I if I take my microphone near my mouth, it sounds better, right? Before it was like it was away from me, but now I think it sounds good, right? I want a crystal clear sound, but I don't know. I bought a really good microphone, but I'm still confused with the settings, and I don't know how to do that, how to fix that. But this microphone works really good. Okay, better before, huh? Thank you for telling me, guys. So I think it's good now, right? I can see it on my OBS studio, and I think it's good. Because I try to keep it low, because I talk a little bit louder than other streamers, I guess. They put their microphone really close and they talk really low, but I don't know, I cannot do that. Me, I'm a loud person, okay? If you are like friends with me in real life, you will know that like I'm not like a calm person at all. Anyway, so let's focus on our chart. Don't distract me, guys. So if you guys are like having a problem, just let me know. Like it's a sound problem, right? Just increase your volume. I think from my side, I think it's clear. Anyway, let's focus on dollar, and you can see that how dollar is behaving. I'm expecting a run on buy side, okay? I do see target. There's a fair value gap here. There's a hourly fair value gap that is unfilled and it's on premium. And then we have an inversion on hourly fair value gap. I'm on hourly chart, so that's an inversion. So I'm expecting, if price is coming up, okay, offering buy side liquidity, I'm expecting a run on here. And why am I expecting a run on here? Let's talk about the confirmation and what I'm looking at, okay? If I toggle on the new week opening gap and new day opening gap chart, you can see the price is now inside of this new day opening gap. And here's another new day opening gap, and look at this. That's a low. Okay, if I take you on 50-minute chart, it will make more sense. That's a low here, right? So that's our sell side liquidity. Price came down, offered sell side liquidity right here. And if I zoom in a little bit, you will be able to see that that's our consequent encroachment, or the midway of this new day opening gap. Price came down, took this liquidity from here, and then rejected aggressively towards the buy side. At the same time, folks, look, close price generated relative equal lows, right? So once price does that, suppose you are expecting a clean run, aggressive run, right? And if you see price generating relative equal lows like this, you should know that you should be careful about the trades that you are taking, okay? Because when price generates relative equal lows, it becomes a strong level of liquidity, and price likes to come down and take this level out. Just that's what you are seeing here. So let's see what price does. If price rejecting right after taking out these relative equal lows here, we can expect to see a run on here. That's a relative equal low, equal high here, right? And after that, if price still willing to go towards the buy side, we have this fair value gap, this inversion here that is unfilled, and that's a new week opening gap here. It's very small, very tiny, but if I zoom in a little bit, you can see that how price respected this new week opening gap. So new week opening gap only matters when price is close to it, and like if there's two new week opening gap inside to each other, you can measure the gap here, right? These are two new day opening gap together. So if I measure it, right? If I measure this gap here, where does our midway come? Right here. That's the midway 0.5 level, right? So what my mentor tells it, and he sees it as a horizon. He names it horizon, and he tells us to expect a reaction or rejection in price from midway and the lower quadrant, okay? Right here. That's the lower quadrant right here. And I think the reason behind he told us to look and measure new week opening gap, new day opening gap like this, because I think price sees it also as a gap. Okay, if price is like delivering in between two new day opening gap or two like new week opening gap, you should measure the gap here like I did, and you should expect a rejection or reaction in price from the midway. So let's see what price does, okay? I'm still new to this concept. I'm not like a pro or whatever. I'm still new. I'm still learning like you, but I want to learn, okay? I'm not like lazy. I want to see how price reacts. If it does that, okay? If price does react from the horizon level right here, then I know like it's a valid concept and I should use this concept more often, right? No one is stopping me from gaining more knowledge. So that's what I'm doing here. Okay, before our macro starts, it's 8:18. Let's talk about Euro USD. Okay, someone is asking, how do I join your private member? I've been trying to reach you and no response. Please, you cannot. I don't have a private membership. I only have a membership on YouTube, and it's basically like you can chat with me here, like you become a member and then you can chat, and I post some prediction about price on US 30, US 500, US 100. If you are a member, you only get to see those, and I will toggle on the member only chat right now. So what I basically do with the members is, if I take you through the membership thing, if you are not a member, you won't be able to see it. So that's basically for my members. I outlined the setup for them. It's in hindsight, okay? And I also do share the prediction. You can see that I shared about a prediction on price using IPTA with my members here. If I open, I think I cannot open this picture. If I can, yeah, you can see that I predicted a drop on US 100 before price actually dropped from here, and US 500, every prediction that I made on daily chart, it was accurate. Price came down here, and you can see that price filled the gap on US 500, then US 30, price stepped into this daily fair value gap. So it was very accurate because I'm using GIPTA and I only do share it with my members. So I will in future I will keep everything with my members. Only the streams that you are seeing here will be available for the public. Other than that, the bias session and then the trade review session, crypto session, everything will be for my members in future. I'm just a new here, right? I'm still new here on YouTube, so in future I will do that. So let's talk about Euro USD. Okay, so Euro USD, that's what I was expecting to see. If I take you on 4-hour chart, I'll be really quick with the talking here because I want to look at US 30 how price is behaving. So that's a gap, that's a big week on daily chart. Okay, if I take you onto the daily chart, you will be able to see that that's a big week. Okay, so what I did, I measured the week, and if I take you back onto the 4-hour chart, you can see that how price is rejected from the lower quadrant here, lower quadrant of that daily week. Now if I take you onto the 60-minute chart, it becomes way more clear. That's our lower quadrant here, right? And what do you see? Price came up, right? Rejected from this lower quadrant, and after that, after I saw it, I was expecting a fill up of gap. There's a 4-hour fair value gap, okay, right here, of gap here, and I'm still expecting a bearish run on Euro USD. We do have target. Price just stepped into this hourly fair value gap, but we do have a big fair value gap here. If I take you onto the hourly chart, sorry, 4-hour chart, you can see that that's a big fair value gap. So what I did here, I measured the fair value gap, right, and I marked the upper quadrant and the midway, and I'm expecting a drop on here, at least 0.5 level, 0.75 level. So let's see what it does. And if I take you on 50-minute chart, you can see that how price rejected from this fair value gap here. So let's see if price shows a rejection from this fair value gap. If it does again, I'm expecting a run on 0.75, that's the upper quadrant, and then this fair value gap right here, and it's an hourly fair value gap. Okay, it's an hourly fair value gap, and it's unfilled on hourly chart, and then the midway of that 4-hour fair value gap. So let's see what it does. I'm basically expecting a rejection from this fair value gap on Euro USD. Okay, let's go back to US 30. Okay, so price came up, right, and price is still rejecting from this order block though. So let's drop down to the lower time frame. I'm on 15-minute. There's nothing special in 15-minute. So let's drop down to the 5-minute chart and let's see what's happening. Okay, we do have a fair value gap right here. On Ethereum, I will not do analysis on Ethereum publicly. Other than that, when I'm doing a live stream with my members on crypto, you will see me doing the analysis on crypto, Ethereum and Bitcoin. So let's see what price does. We have a swing high here, right? That's our buy side liquidity. Let's see if price reject from it. If it does get rejected from this swing high, right, We have clean target below here. That's a relative equal low down here. So let's see what price does, and let's wait for a rejection. I'm gonna toggle on the NASDAQ chart right next to it. I wanna see how NASDAQ is behaving too. Okay, so NASDAQ is also delivering buy side liquidity after tapping into this fair value gap. It also generated relative equal lows, folks. It here, right here. So US 500 is running aggressively towards the buy side. Okay, let's see where is US 500 going. US 500, we have a big wick right here. So I'm on hourly chart on ES, and let's see how a price reacts from this hourly wick. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep US 500 here because US 500 looks very clean to me compared to the NASDAQ. I'm only trading on US 30, okay folks. I use other chart as a confirmation, not to trade there. I don't see any trade idea though here with the breaker block. So I'm just gonna wait and see how price reacts. Price generated an equal high here. So I'm expecting a run on buy side. That's a equal high. Is it a SMT? Is it a SMT? I think it is a SMT, huh? Yes. Anyway, I want to see this SMT getting failed. After that, I will have a clean analysis. So very less that I care about this SMT. I'm not gonna take a trade even if this SMT gets provides 100% support towards the sell side. I will not take it. I'm expecting this SMT to get failed. That's what I'm expecting, and we have our internal buy side liquidity here. So let's just wait, folks. Be patient and let's see what price does. Nothing special yet. We do have target. We do have relative equal lows. I'm waiting for a rejection in price, and we still don't have it. Once we have it, we'll be able to take a trade. Other than that, I'm willing to wait. Let's see how dollar is behaving. Okay, dollar is coming down, right? And that was the measurement of our two new day opening gap. So let's see how if price shows any rejection from these two levels, 0.5 and 0.25. These two levels that I'm watching here. We have a news at 8:30. Let's see. Yes, we do have news at 8:30. Advanced GDP, right? So these are like high impact news. So if you ask me what I'm expecting, okay, I'm expecting something like this to happen. Something like this. So let's see. Maybe I'm wrong because there's high impact news, so there will be a lot of volatility. Price can deliver at both sides with that volatility. So let's see. I'm not taking any trades, so very less that I'm caring if I'm getting wrong. Let's wait. We have 2 minutes before the news. Not that wild though. These are not CPI and FP news, so I'm not expecting much. Okay, let's drop down to the 1 minute chart. On 1 minute chart, we will have clean analysis. So you can see the price took a liquidity here, right? Price delivered internal buy side liquidity here. So let's see price runs towards the buy side liquidity now. Internal sell side liquidity. Price delivered internal sell side liquidity right here. So I'm expecting a run on buy side. Something like this. Or maybe from this fair value gap, you know, this that's a fair value gap right here. So it's in discount. So let's see what price does. So price delivered liquidity here, right? Price generated equal high before the news. Then price tapped into this fair value gap, right? Do you guys see that? That's a fair value gap. I told you guys that it's in discount. So let's see how price behaves. So price came down. First, price came down to this fair value gap. And then it went above, delivered this equal high here. And on US 500, you can see that the measurement that I did about the week, the hourly week, I guess, right? It was an hourly week. Yeah, that's the hourly week, and you can see how beautifully price rejected from this lower quadrant. So what do we expect? We expect to see price remaining heavy towards the sell side. Didn't I outline this week before the news? And I told you guys, let's see how price reacts from this week. And you saw how price reacted from this week, right? It's a beautiful rejection from the lower quadrant. Now, do you guys see the importance of measuring a week? A week, when you see a big week in price, folks, it doesn't matter in what time frame it is. Always measure it, okay? And most of the time, from my experience, 75 to 80% of the time you will see price showing a reaction from those big weeks. And we have a big week here. If I measure it, you will also see the price rejected from it. Lower quadrant, right? Lower quadrant comes in here. So after price tapped into it and got rejected aggressively, what do we expect? We expect to see price remaining heavy towards the sell side. That's what we were looking at. They say price is not predictable. Price is very fucking predictable if you know how to do it. Let's look at US 100 and let's look at dollar. Okay. Do you guys see how dollar delivered from these two zone, right? 0.5, the midway of what? The midway of what? Two new week opening gap. Sorry, new day opening gap. I told you guys my mentor himself tells me to measure the gap between two new day opening gap. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can rewind my stream and you will hear me when price was here. I told you that that's a two new day opening gap. That's what I see, right? And I told you guys, okay, I'm gonna measure it and I'm gonna wait and see how price reacts. 0.5, 0.25, two levels, right? The midway and the lower quadrant, and you can see that how price rejected from it. Beautiful rejection. Price came down, tapped into this new day opening gap. Beautiful rejection, all predicted before price did it. It's beautiful, right? And on US 30, price is just chopping around. I do see these relative equal lows down here, so I want to see price taking it out. What is RB? Reclaimed block or what? stream is not delayed. I can see that it's perfect. It's just like 10 seconds of delay. If you're complaining about that, nothing to say, you know. Yeah, rejection block. Yeah, rejection block is powerful. So no setup here, folks. At 8:20 to 8:30, our macro was there, but there's no setup. Can you guys hit the thumbs up button here? 300 people watching, okay? If you guys can do like 250 likes, I will open the chat for all of you. If you guys can do that, your chat window will be open. Euro USD. Okay, let's look at Euro USD. How Euro USD is behaving. Beautiful. Oh my god. Why is so beautiful today? So freaking beautiful. I measured the week, okay, on 60-minute, daily chart. If you guys remember, I explained everything before it happened and how it should happen. That's a big week. And I measured it, and I told you guys that I saw a reaction from 0.25, the lower quadrant. And I told you guys what I'm expecting price to remain heavy towards the what? Towards what? Sell side liquidity. Right? And you can see the price came up again. This fair value gap, price respected this fair value gap, and I told you guys I'm expecting a run on sell side liquidity, and I gave you two target. Okay, it depends on you how you are executing. I don't know your model. Okay, my model is breaker block, and I didn't saw a setup with my breaker block model here. If I was like watching this, I would have told you that okay, that's the setup that I see here with the breaker block. But you can see that how aggressive price was. I gave you two targets, 0.75, right? It's all recorded, it's all live. Go back and listen to it. 0.75, that's the target. Why is it a target? What is this 0.75? It's a 4-hour fair value gap that I measured. If I take you onto the 4-hour chart, right, let me hide the new week opening gap. Yeah, so this is a big fair value gap, right? That's a BC. And what I did, I measured the BC, right, the way I do, and the upper quadrant comes in here, the midway comes in here, and if I take you onto the 60-minute chart, you can see that there's a fair value gap in between these two levels, the upper quadrant and the lower quadrant. And yeah, this fair value gap is unfilled, so that's the target that I gave you guys, and you can see that how beautifully price delivered to it. Everything was predicted, folks. Beautiful prediction, and I like it. I'm loving the improvements that I'm doing, you know. I'm not that experienced like some of you are here, like 4 or 5 years of experience. I don't have that experience, so when I see like what I'm doing and how I'm looking at chart and price is behaving exactly the way I want to, or I'm expecting, like that's when I know that I'm learning, I'm on the right path. Okay, so that's what it did, okay, and it was beautiful. Let's go back to our US 30. US 30 didn't provided us any setup though. I do see a stop hunt here, right? But the breaker block to me is not clear, so I'll just avoid it. But the target that I gave you guys is now being delivered, right? Price will deliver this target beautifully. And on US 500, I marked these levels. If you are watching me here, and then this fair value gap here, price is delivering to it beautifully here again. And I was expecting a run on sell side. I've been like literally preaching when I started my stream. I told you guys that I'm expecting a run on sell side, not buy side, not buy side. Then yeah, that's what happened. Okay, on NASDAQ, price just filled this fair value gap right here. There was an unfilled fair value gap. Let's see price reject from it. And if it does not reject from it, we have this relative equal low down here. And US 30 just delivered this relative equal low. Yes, there was a breaker block set up on US 100. There was a breaker block set up, but I don't think you will be able to take a trade even if you do see it. Okay, that's a higher high here, right? And what price did is basically price came up. That was a very aggressive move. Even if you were like executing in this trade, I can bet if you are like pressing your button here, your trade will execute here, right here. So don't do that, folks. If you are like in a news release, don't take any trade. Just watch and learn, okay? The experience that you will build, you can convert that experience later in future into money. But if you gain like if you become emotional by taking 2 or 3 trades, that experience will will be very harmful for you in future. You will lose money because of that. So build good experience, okay? When you are not supposed to trade, just tape read like me, like the way I'm doing here. Build the experience later in future. Trust me, folks. There will be time, okay, when you will make money with this experience. Just like I'm doing here, I'm calling the market in front of you. How? Because I focus more on tape reading than just thinking about money. If you have the skill, you can generate money in every way. Okay, so that's a breaker block. Okay, that's a higher high. Then price generated a new higher high. Then price came down, and this move was aggressive. There's no way that you can execute here. No freaking way you can execute. So if I mark the breaker block 1 minute chart, it will be these down close candles right here. That will be the breaker block. I hope you got the answer, Morgore. And you can see the price is rejecting from this unfilled fair value gap that I outlined on 5 minute chart. Right, there's a fair value gap that is unfilled and price is rejecting from it, and I don't want to see price rejecting from it, okay? I want to see price coming down, and from where price can come down. If I measure this fair value gap right next to it, okay, that's a BC. That's a failed BC. So what does it become now? It becomes a inversion. So I'm expecting a rejection in price from 0.25, the lower quadrant, 0.5 level of this inversion. And if price is still coming up, okay, I don't want to see after price coming up after it like hits 0.5 level, the midway. If it does that, we have the last level 0.75, and if price is still aggressive, it will move towards the buy side. Okay, thank you, Morgor. Thank you for the clarification. Where are you from, brother? Okay, so that's price delivered here. I'm still expecting price to deliver towards the sell side, but let's see what it does, okay? No setup being presented yet. So I'm just gonna sit on my hands. I really don't see anything. It's just chopping around, price delivering both sides right after the news. So we will wait and see how 9:20 to 9:30 macro behaves. Do we have a news at 9:20 to 9:30? We have a news at 10 o'clock, right? Pending house sales, that a medium impact news. Let's wait and let's see, folks, if price present any setup. I'm not expecting much from today. So this week I really didn't place any trade on my live funds. So I'm just sitting on my hand. So very less that I care. I only need 2R, so let's see if price provides me 2R. Before it does that, before I expect a trade, I want to see price price coming below from this zone, okay? Not, I don't like this zone here. I don't like the way price is chopping here. I know it's because of the news, but I don't like it. And that's the time when price manipulates, right, folks? You have been like listened it from my mouth a lot of times. I tell you, after 8:35 till 9:20, price That's the zone when price manipulates. Jason is saying, have you ever used the London session macros with this strategy? Appreciate middle of the night for you though. I never traded on London session. I only traded like once in my whole trading career, because that's the time when I'm sleeping. So I care about my sleep and I love to sleep. So I'm not gonna be trading on London session. I know some of you do, but let's see, okay? If I find any interest in future to trade on London session, I will. Basically tape reading, because I don't have any experience on London session, so I will do tape reading just like this. Okay, so let's talk about chart. What I'm expecting right now. Nothing basically. Price delivered both side, okay? If price was if it was like price leaving this equal high and then delivering towards the equal low, then I would have targeted this. If price was delivering towards the sell side and like if price was delivering towards the buy side and leaving this equal low intact, I would have targeted this. But price delivered both side and price is inside of this fair value gap on 50-minute chart. Yes, on 50-minute chart, price is inside of this fair value gap. So I wanna see price getting out of it or showing a rejection in price to get out of it. Other than that, I'm not expecting much. I do see an inversion here. I would like to see price rejecting from here though. So I'm on 50-minute chart on US 30, and that's the inversion that I'm marking. You guys can ask me like, how do you know that's the inversion that you should mark, right? I can see other inversion here. Like there's a fair value gap, so it's a fair BC, so that's also inversion, right? There's another inversion. So you might ask me, Hydra, how do you know that that's the inversion that you should mark? I don't know. I just know because of my experience, okay? I saw price rejecting from CB more than I saw from BC, and it's something that comes with experience. Once you are like looking at chart again and again for a long time and you build your experience, you will be able to know. That's the thing that comes with experience. My mentor didn't teach me that way that I'm talking with you here. He didn't outline and asked himself question like, that's a inversion and that's from where I want to see a rejection. He didn't taught that to me. How did I learn it? From my own experience, by looking at chart, by using his concept. So let's see if price does reject from it. I'm expecting a rejection from here, because if I zoom in a little bit, you will be able to see the price generated equal low here, right? And we do have other equal lows, clean relative equal lows down here. So let's see, and let's wait and see how price reacts and behaves. That's our inversion from 50-minute chart, right? Inversion. There are some things, folks, like I don't know how to share with you, because to me, I believe that those things you will only learn once you spend time with chart. I have some other models that I trade with, okay? I partnered with Lux Algo, if you guys know it. I shared with you all on Telegram, and I told you guys that I partner with him, and what he basically doing is like making an indicator based on the model that I'm trading, the breaker block model, right? The way I trade, he tried to make it. He didn't release it yet. He was supposed to release it today at 10 o'clock, and it will be free. So let's see how that indicator behaves, and the way he showed it to me, it really does behave good. And I have other trading models that I would like to make an indicator with. Me personally, I never traded with an indicator. I don't believe that you can be consistently profitable with an indicator. Okay, but it's good to see when someone who is on top level of making indicator. If you guys know Lux Algo, he's like on top of his business. He's really good at making indicators. So when you see someone who is on top of his game doing something for you for free, and it really does matter, you know. So I want to see how that looks, and if it does look good, I have other models that I trade with, the new day opening gap and new week opening gap. Okay, when that gap opens, usually there's a trade idea that also gets generated. Okay, when that gap opens after like 15 to 30 minutes, you can execute based on that gap. If you measure that gap, okay, I'm gonna share a tip with you. Go back test using this. Once a new week, new day opening gap and new week opening gap opens, measure that gap and wait for a rejection in price from the midway in the lower quadrant or the upper quadrant, because that's a premium and discount zone for price. So if you know how to use it, okay, the way I'm telling you, you can execute based on that. And I did execute it. I have some trades with new day opening gap and new week opening gap on my Twitter. If you go below and search with new day opening gap or new week opening gap on my Twitter feed, you will find it there. So let's see what it does. If Lux Elgo is making it good, I will share my other models with him, and I would like to see how he automates it with his indicator. So that indicator is not released yet, but when it will be released, it will be something like breaker block with signals. So what it will do, like it will give you signal one price closes a candle's body below the breaker block. It will outline the breaker block for you. It's for the new people, okay? Some of the people who are very new, I will highly suggest you not to rely on an indicator completely. I never saw a ICT student who relied on indicator and made money. It won't happen, okay? So I'm not promoting an indicator here. I'm just telling you that that's something will happen and you will see it. So don't rely on it. And I know it will be perfect because I tested it and I saw some good result. So that's the inversion here, right? I outlined it to you, and you can see how price is showing willingness to reject from it. And on US 500, right, that's another level that I marked. Two levels. If I change the color, it will be more visible. And I told you guys that if price wanna reject, it can reject from these two zones. So let's see what it does. And we do have our breaker block here. And we are not yet close to our macro though. Our macro starts at 9:20 to 9:30, right? So let's wait and see if this candle, okay, if this candle right here closes its body above this inversion. I'm pretty sure we will hunt this internal buy side liquidity, but you can see how price is showing willingness to get reject from this inversion. So let's wait for this candle's closure, and after that I will have a clean analysis about it. Let's look at dollar. Dollar behaved just the way I wanted it to see, right? Perfect delivery today, folks. Perfect tape reading today. I hope you guys like it. If you are enjoying the way I'm tape reading, I gave you target, okay? Here, this whole freaking move was called. Whole fucking thing was called here. I called the whole move, okay? From the very low here to the very high. I told you guys that if price is coming up, you will see that price is delivering to this fair value gap, and if price is still showing willingness to come up from this inversion, I was expecting a rejection in price from these two levels. Do you guys remember? Okay, if you guys are enjoying my commentaries, I expect to see a thumbs up from you. 400 people watching, 200, it's not even 200 likes. Guys, can you just smash the like button today? Beautiful delivery on Euro USD. You can see that how price delivered, rejected from this fair value gap I outlined, right? That's the 4-hour fair value gap I talked about in a short form. And you can see that how price delivered to 0.75. That was the target that I gave you. Then this fair value gap on hourly chart. Then this midway, right? And if price wanna reject, it can reject from this fair value gap. If price is not showing any willingness to reject from this fair value gap, we will see price hunting these lows here. Okay, the way I'm talking, you can use those confirmation that I'm sharing with you in your trade. Okay, that's how you get confidence in your trade. When do you know your trade will fail? That's how you will know. If price is not showing a willingness to reject from this fair value gap down here, this fair value gap is on discount. Okay, that's when you know that you should get out, rather than hoping and like, okay, I should hope now, I should hold more, I should hold my trade. No, no, don't do it like that. Always, always think of chart with logic. Without logic, there's nothing. You will never make money. 400 people watching. Okay, the thing that I will talk now, it will hurt. Only 10 of you will make consistent money in future if you are not making money right now. Okay, I know it's gonna hurt a lot, but not 400 people here will be consistently profitable. It's not realistic. The realistic thing is only like 10 people. That's the reason 90% failure and only 10% make it in this forex trading industry. Because of that, everyone comes here, thinks about money. Get out of the zone, think about the logic, try to learn how to read it. Okay, this freaking thing is running by algo. So if this thing is running by algo, then you can predict it. What's stopping you from predicting it, right? It's not a god. You cannot predict what God will do, but you can predict what humans can do. Based on that, look at that, I'm doing it. A lot of others like me are doing it. Phantom, okay, if you guys know him, Phantom, he's really famous on Twitter, and and he does live stream. Okay, and he pushes button on his private Discord. I saw him doing that, and he's very accurate. So it's not only me who is doing that, and there's another guy named Genie. He's like a fucking genius in this thing. Okay, if you tell me to pick one ICT trader and whom I can suggest you to learn from, go to Genie. Not me, not anyone else. Genie, that guy, he has like winning streak for months. For weeks I saw him like not even taking a single loss. And the way I tape read is basically like the way he does. Because when I was learning, I was watching his live stream and all that stuff. So basically they impacted my learning a lot. Okay, because our mentor, he wasn't doing live streams. He started live streaming recently, but before that, if you want to learn, you can only learn when people shows it to you when he's printing live. Okay, that's when the most learning happens. Other than that, everyone can, I can sit here, okay, and I can show you hundreds of fucking trades here in hindsight, but will that be like good to you? No, you cannot learn from it. But what I'm showing it to you here with the confirmation here, live chart, right? Like, that's when the most learning happens. So price closed the candle's body above this inversion, right? We were on 3-minute chart. So let's see if price hunts this buy side liquidity here or not. At the same time, watch it folks, at the same time price generated relative equal lows. Look at this. If price is still keeping these lows intact, I will target it at 920 to 930. So yeah, it's Genie. If you go on like Twitter, you will find it. It's something like Genie. I don't know, I don't remember, but I can show it to you all. So that's his Twitter handle, real weird Genie. There's a lot of fakes, okay, so be careful of that. Don't just go and like fall a victim to a scammer. So what did I told you guys? I told you that if price wanna reject from this inversion, it will hunt liquidity down here. If not, if price is closing a candle's body above it, what did I told you guys? Do you guys remember? So guys, you can see how price is behaving. What did I told you guys? If price is closing a candle's body above this inversion, what did I tell you? Price, we can expect to see price hunting this buy side liquidity above here, right? That's the order block right here. Let's see if price get rejects from here. We have to keep in mind every freaking possibility from where price can reject, right? I'm not expecting a rejection from here, but that's the order block. That's what I see. So I'm expecting a run on buy side liquidity up here. Why? Because that's a big week, right? And this big week, because of this big week, we have a relative equal high here. So once price delivers to this relative equal high here, we will have a clean target. This low, this low, this low down here. So at 9:20 to 9:30, I'm expecting to take a trade. We have news at 10, right? So if you are not confident enough, or if you are like fearing because of that, you should not take trade. But let's see, if I have a clean analysis, I will take it. Let's look at other charts. US 500 delivered to our target, right, and then got rejected. Beautiful rejection after delivering to our target. And here's another US 100, right? I told you guys that look at this fair value gap that was unfilled. I think it was on 5-minute chart, right? Yes, that's a 5-minute fair value gap, and that was unfilled. I told you guys that look at this fair value gap, and if price wanna remain heavy towards the buy side, it will reject from here. It's all recorded. Go back and listen to it, and you can see how price rejected from it nicely, beautifully. I wanted to see a rejection from these two level. Price didn't give it to us, right? Anyway, it's okay. It's okay. Price is not giving it to us what we want. We still can take trades based on our analysis, based on what price shows us. We are not coming here with one direction of bias, right? I wanna take trade on short, but I can read price where price will go in both sides of the marketplace. But that doesn't mean that I'll take trades on both sides of the marketplace, because I don't have edge on that. I have edge on calling market on one side and taking trade on one side. That's what I have edge. That's when I have found my edge. So okay, Dixie dollar is, wow, dollar delivered beautifully. I love the way dollar is behaving. You can see that I outlined the inversion here, right? And you can see how price came up, feel our target, our hourly fair value gap, then this inversion hit perfectly. Did I told you guys I want to see a run on here? No. I only gave you these two target, and I wanted to see price rejecting from it. This whole move was called, and you can see how price is rejecting from it. So let's see if dollar is rejecting. Okay, let's look at the target on sell side. That's a big fair value gap, and that's a relative equal low. So if dollar is rejecting, we can expect to see on indices higher prices, right? So let's wait and let's see what price does. Basically, did US 30 rejected from this order block? Yes. Anyway, I wasn't expecting it. But I outlined this order block to you, and I told you guys that I am not expecting a drop from this order block yet, but that's the order block I see, and that's why I marked it, and you can see price rejected from this order block beautifully and delivered to this equal low right here. And our next draw on liquidity will be this low right here. On Nasdaq, look, Nasdaq, what do you see on Nasdaq? Let me know on the chat, what do you see on Nasdaq? What price is doing on Nasdaq? Not rejection from BPR, rejection from breaker block. Look at the breaker block here. I told you guys. I think you guys don't listen to me, right? There's a breaker block I told you to look at, and you can see how price reject. There's also a week. So yeah, you guys are right who are telling me about the week. Yeah, if I measure the week, this week, the midway of this week will come here, and you can see a beautiful rejection from this. But the breaker block here got like provided a good support. Price didn't even close the candle's body inside this breaker block, right? So what do we expect? We expect to see price remaining heavy towards the sell side. Let's drop down to the 1 minute chart without talking much, and let's look for trade ideas. I can see a breaker block right here after price showed a rejection. So that's a breaker block. So now we should wait and see if price closes the candle's body below it. And if it does on our macro zone, I do have target. I have this fair value gap that is unfilled. That's a fair value gap right here, right? So it's an unfilled fair value gap. So we can take a partial here. So this breaker block is not activated yet, so there's no trade idea. I'm just marking our target. I'm waiting for our time to get matched, and if it, we can take a partial here in this fair value gap, and if price is still providing liquidity, we can expect a run on this low here, and then ultimately this low down here. But let's see what happens. So CN is saying we are Dow hasn't run the body of the 4-hour order block. It seems to be engineering sell side liquidity for a final run up to the 4-hour and TS then dropped. Just my opinion. Sorry, engineering buy side liquidity. Okay, let's see what it does. Right. Price just tapped into this fair value gap. Sorry, order block. Didn't even close the candle's body. Right. No candle's body inside this order block of this 4-hour chart. And I do see target on sell side. Okay. So let's see how it behaves. Me personally, I wanna see a run on sell side. But anyway, let's see. If price is providing liquidity towards the buy side, you will know. I will know. So okay, beautiful rejection from this breaker block. Right here, we still have 10 minutes before our macro zone starts. I wanna see US 30 remaining heavy towards the sell side. So something like this, that's what I'm expecting from US 30. Dollar is consolidating. Dollar got support. I'm on 1 minute chart on dollar. Okay, let's move to the 3 minute chart on dollar. It will be more clear. So that's a fair value gap on dollar, right? That's a BC and price got support from it. If I measure it, the midway will come here. Price didn't even close the candle's body towards the in midway, so price should remain heavy towards the buy side, right? And if it's remaining heavy, that's the target that price will take. And let's see if we have higher target. We have this swing high here. So let's see what it does. Let's look at Euro USD. Euro USD delivering towards the fair value gap I outlined. Let's see if Euro USD rejects from this fair value gap, right? If it rejects, price on Euro USD, price just took did a stop hunt below this low right here. So on Euro USD, our breaker block is these last up close candles. So if price is going above and closing a candle's body above this last up close candle, know that it will hunt buy side liquidity. And what can be your target? Your target can be this fair value gap right here on 3 minute chart, right? That will be a place where you should take a partial, and above that you can target this high here or this week, right? Candle's body, that's where you can put your TP. That would be a zone you can take a partial. This breaker block is not yet activated, so it's just an analysis. It's 9:14. We still have 15 minutes before our macro. 5 minutes before our macro starts. If price wanna deliver towards the buy side after taking out liquidity from here, right? That's a swing low right here. So if price takes it out and wanna deliver buy side liquidity, we have a breaker block right here. These last up close candles that you see, that's our breaker block. So yeah, if price wanna do that, it can do that, and we will have a trade idea. Okay, all of these charts left liquidity towards the buy side. Right? So let's see what it does. Okay, that's a mitigation block down here, right? This rejection that you saw here is because of this mitigation block. And if you don't know about mitigation block, like, you can go on my mentor's channel, you can look for it. So price is delivering basically the way I wanted it to, but no setup being present. So I'm still sitting patiently. We have this trend line liquidity right here. If I put a trend line here, right, you will see that price respected trend line liquidity right here. So that's a liquidity, that's a strong level of liquidity. And this gap here, it was a 50-minute fair value gap, if you guys remember. And what do you see here? Price came down, closed the candles body below the midway, right? So what do we expect from a fair value gap if it does closes the candles body below the midway? To remain heavy towards the sell side. So we can expect to see a run on here. Let's see if price gave us any setup or not. Price took this price took this low here. And on Nasdaq, if I look at on Nasdaq, price did another stop hunt here. Price generated relative equal high right here, and then price came up, took it, a new higher high being generated. So if I mark it, it will be something like this. At the same time, price hit a fair value gap here inside of this breaker block, 5-minute breaker block. So our new breaker block here on 1-minute chart on Nasdaq is these last down close candles. So let's see if price closes the candles body below it. With breaker block, that's the magic. Okay, if price does not close the candles body below it, you don't have a trade idea. In other concept, you become confused. You don't know when that concept will support your trade idea, but on breaker block, you do know. You do know with a certain degree, with other confirmation. Like in breaker block, you will have 3 confirmation. Price will hit a premium PD area. It can be a fair value gap. It can be an order block. It can be any concept. It can be a volume imbalance. It just will have to be in a premium PD area, and then price will do a stop hunt. That's the second confirmation. Then price will close the candles body below the breaker block. So you're basically engaging in marketplace with 3 confirmation if your model is breaker block. Okay, that's how I was able to mitigate a lot of losses from my trade. Even with 3 or 4 confirmation, I still lose money, but that doesn't mean that I'm losing it continuously. It happens like once in a while, and when it happens, I don't care about it. It's a part of a business. It's not like you will always make money rather than losing it. You will lose money, and if you don't know when you lose money how to control it, you will continue to do so, losing money. So no setup is just remaining aggressive towards the sell side liquidity, right? So that's a low here, another low. Let's see how price delivers. Another low right here, then another low. I'm expecting, if price is delivering towards this two low, I'm expecting a run on here. I basically outlined to you everything before it happened with every other confirmation, right? This order block, I outlined it to you. Even though I wasn't expecting a rejection from here, then this inversion, you can see how price came up, right? Got support from this inversion to the tick precision, folks. If I zoom in, you will be able to see that price came up, hit this inversion to the tick, and then got rejected. But there wasn't any breaker block setup, so yeah. There's nothing to trade and time is not aligned. I do see a breaker block here, but it was inside the zone when price manipulates, so I'm not gonna take it. And I didn't took it. I didn't even talk about it. So price did another stop hunt on US 100, and that's a big week, another week, right? And price is showing willingness to get reject from it. So our 5-minute breaker block is not valid anymore. Yes, the 5-minute breaker block is not valid. So our breaker block here right now, these down close candles are our breaker block. So let's see what price does. We have a stop hunt here on Nasdaq. If you can see it, I'm gonna minimize the US 30 because US 30 is just beaching today and not providing any clean setup. And we do have a news at 10. I think it's because of that US 30 is beaching, but Nasdaq is clear. So a stop hunt here, stop hunt. So I will wait and watch if price closes candle's body below this last up close candle. If it does that, I can expect to see price closing candle's body below this breaker block, and once it does that, I will have a trade idea. That's the last bullish candle, right? So I want to see price coming down and closing a candle's body below it. If it does not do that, it will remain heavy towards the buy side, and that's what I don't want to see. We do have target towards the sell side, okay? That's a low right here, right? Relatively equal lows. Then that's a fair value gap. It's unfilled. Okay, let's look at 5-minute chart and let's see if we have any target on higher time frame. It looks like it's hunting buy side liquidity, huh? On US 30, you can see how price generated relative equal lows down here. So when it does that, okay, folks, just know it will come back to this level after it gets support from a discount PDRA or a fair value gap. Dollar is dropping from our inversion that I outlined. This gray shaded box that you see, that's our hourly inversion. If I take you back onto the hourly chart, you can see that that's the inversion. That's a failed BC. So this failed BC, if I extend it out on time, it's on premium, right? And you can see how price beautifully came up here, delivered once again, and it's gonna I'm expecting dollar to remain heavy towards the sell side. So something like this I will expect. Keep in mind, folks, we have news at 10, so let's just wait. So that's what I'm expecting, a fill up of this gap here after I saw this reaction or rejection on dollar. This gap. So Nasdaq closed a candle body below this last up close candle right here. So I'm expecting Nasdaq to remain heavy towards the sell side. Because of that, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you can go ahead and watch the video that I made about reclaimed order block. There's I presented to you like a new concept of order block. It's not new. It's always been, like, I heard it from my mentor. So it's new. It's not new, but not very people uses it. So you can go ahead and watch that. So basically, once price does a liquidity hunt, right? When do you know that liquidity hunt is valid? If price is closing a candle body below the last up close candle, and if there's a fair value gap, if price is closing candle body below that fair value gap after a stop hunt, that's when you know that a market structure shift will happen before it happens. Okay, how do you predict a market structure shift? That's how you predict. If you don't know how to do that, go ahead and watch that video. I bet you will be able to do that. You will be able to predict a market structure shift before it happens. So no setup yet, just waiting patiently. Now that price closing and that's below this last up close candle, I want to see Nasdaq remaining heavy towards the sell side. But it's moving with dollar, right? Dollar is delivering towards the sell side, so Nasdaq is also delivering towards the sell side. So it's not a high probability condition. They should move opposite to each other, not like together. I want to see Nasdaq doing something like this. So let's see what it does. If this candle gets rejects from this order block, right, I will have a trade idea. This order block, that's our last bullish candle. So let's see if price already rejected from this order block once, right? So I will wait and see how price rejects from this order block. We are inside of our macro, and that's another setup. Okay, it's not a breaker block setup, it's a reclaimed order block setup. So I just want to see if price respect what I want to see, basically what I'm expecting to see. Yes, a rejection in price happens, so a target will be something like this. It's not a live trade idea, okay folks, it just I want to see how price reacts. We have a news at 10 o'clock, and that's a high impact news. Okay, a stop loss can be above that, and let's see how price behaves. It's not a high probability setup though. It's this thing is moving with dollar, right? Dollar is delivering towards the way dollar is delivering, this thing is delivering the same. Nasdaq. So look at it. They both are moving together. That's what they should not do. Dollar is delivering buy side. Nasdaq is delivering buy side. So yeah. Not a high probability condition, and I think like this candle. So that was a wrong trade idea, right? Anyway, before news it manipulates like that. A lot of manipulation. So US30 rejected from this after delivering liquidity here. Do we have a higher level of target on Nasdaq? Let's see. Because the way price is delivering, I think price still has business left on the buy side. It's a lot of noise. What the hell is this? A run on here would also make sense, but anyway, let's see what happens. Price generated equal high here, so not me who's gonna push a button though. Price did a stop hunt, generated equal high. I do see a breaker block, but I'm not gonna outline it. It's this last down close candles right here. There's a breaker block right here, but it generated equal high, folks, so I don't like it. No setup being presented today. Why? So that's a breaker block right here. Price is rejecting from it beautifully, right? But let's see how this candle behaves. Yeah, this candle is behaving good, but aggressively. Aggressive behavior in this candle. So now I don't like this run. Okay, we have a 10 o'clock news, so I'll just wait and see how the 10 o'clock news impact occurs. I don't like the price action that's happening right now. Okay, it's not respecting any analysis. It's created a equal low down here, right? So it should take it before it should move towards the buy side, but it's moving towards the buy side, hunting more liquidity on sell side. Sorry, buy side, delivering more liquidity. And that's our breaker block, to be honest, on US 30. Price has liquidity, strong level of liquidity on sell side. And Nasdaq is respecting this breaker block after generating this equal high. If there was like no equal high, I would have outlined it to you and I would have like told you that's a trade idea that I see. But because of this equal high, me personally, I only trade once I see a equal high is getting taken out. If there's a equal high, okay, I'm not gonna push the button because that's a double top. It's a retail concept. So let's see if price provide us any setup towards the buy side. We do have a target on the sell side here, this imbalance right here on Nasdaq. If price is coming down and rejecting from this fair value gap, we can target this equal high here. If not, Nasdaq will deliver more sell side liquidity. Look how US 30 is chopping. It's because of the news. We have a news at 10 o'clock, right? So price is now in a choppy zone. Look at US 500. Oh my god. ES is just a bitch, okay? She very rarely I see her presenting a clean setup. Look at her. Compared to US 100, there's no setup on US 30. I know that, but compared to both other pairs, you can see that how like US 500 is behaving. It's chopping a lot, huh? There's a breaker on US 30. Yeah, so that's a breaker. Right, these up close candles. Okay, so I do see a trade idea on US 30, but I'm not gonna take it. It's just that like price that these up close candles that you see, that's our breaker block and it's activated right now. But because of the choppiness, folks, I don't want to take it or don't want to outline it, but look at the choppiness. US 500 is chopping around, not respecting any levels. US 100 generated equal low here and didn't took it, right? I don't like this condition at all. And price is just delivering both side, okay? Moving towards the buy side, delivering sell side. Moving towards the buy side, delivering towards the sell side. It's in a seek and destroy mood. But if this candle behaves good and not closing a candle's body below the midway of this breaker block, we can expect a run on buy side, but I think it will close a candle's body below the midway, right? I don't want to trade in this condition. This condition is not favorable for me personally, so not me who's gonna push a button. Dollar, I wanted to see dollar remain heavy towards the sell side, but it's not. It's also not doing that. Okay, dollar is still inside of this inversion though. The inversion that you guys see here, that's an inversion. So dollar is still inside of it right now. So let's see how dollar is reacting from this inversion. If it does that, if it does react good or provide liquidity towards the sell side, we will have a clean analysis on indices. Other than that, we will just have to sit down. I will have to sit down. I cannot do anything in this condition. So So this breaker block is being respected, huh? But there's also a fair value gap that I outlined, right? When price was delivering this move, I told you guys that I want to see, if price is coming up, I want to see price rejecting from here. But it didn't did that. But right now, you can see how price is rejecting. No setup yet, and I don't want to trade in this condition. I will wait and see how 10 o'clock news delivers, and after that I will look for a trade. After the news impact happens, that's a medium impact news, so I'm not expecting much from that, but I'm expecting manipulation. And this breaker block delivered quite nicely, huh? That's the swing low right here. Price went below, created another swing low, so new low, right? So this up close candle right here becomes our breaker block. So if I mark it like this, and you can see price respected this breaker block, but this move I don't like it. The way that price came down and got rejected again and again, and the way it's delivering, I really don't like it. Okay, price got rejected from this inversion, right? The inversion that I outlined on 50-minute chart, you can still see price respecting it quite beautifully. And do we have a breaker block? I'm on 1-minute chart. I think this will be our breaker block though, but there will be a lot of risk. So yeah, I'm not gonna take this trade anyway. If the next candle, if that opens and shows us support that it wanna deliver towards the sell side, I will think about taking a trade. And keep in mind that we have 10 o'clock news. I'm also keeping that in mind. On US 500, price is still respecting the hourly wick that I marked for you guys. It's the hourly wick, yeah. You can see the price came up again, right? It did came up before, got rejected from the lower quadrant. It came up again, got rejected from it again. Look at the rejection here. And do we have target? Yeah, we have equal low here. That's a swing low here. It's not equal though. And we do have relative equal lows down below here. So I do see target on sell side. That's the reason I'm like not expecting a run on buy side. Yeah, this rejection that you see here on price, that's what I don't like. Like this candle, if it's a high probability setup, it should deliver towards the sell side liquidity, and it should not like retrace the way it's retracing aggressively. It should not do that. So that's our last up close candle, sorry, last down close candle. So let's see price reject from this. So I think a trade idea would be something like this: a stop loss above this break. It's just an idea, okay, guys. I'm trying out new ideas, and that's an order block here. Look at Nasdaq. Nasdaq is delivering quite nicely, and our target is down here. If I target 2R, let's see if it delivers 2R from here. We do have a fair value gap. That's the reason I put my stop loss above it, above the midway of this order block. So the fair value gap is here. So let's see if price rejects from this fair value gap or not. The way price is behaving, that's the reason I'm not taking this trade, just watching. Look at the candles, folks. It's not it's like aggressively delivering, right? That's what I don't like to see. The way, for me, the perfect condition to trade is when price is delivering towards the liquidity without getting rejected like this. Aggressive rejection in price, that's what I don't like. I want to see price coming up, hitting this fair value gap, right, and dropping then. In a straight move, it can have small retracement, but not like this. Like price is opening, then going below, then going above the opening level, like this. Look at this. Look at each of these candles that is opening. Look how they behave. It's not a perfect scenario for me to take a trade on my live funds, but I'm learning here, so that's how I'm learning. I'm putting out a setup. I want to see how price behaves. So on Nasdaq, price is rejecting from this fair value gap. We do have this target here down below, right? And we do have another target, this fair value gap, this unfilled fair value gap down here. We have a 10 o'clock news, 15 minutes until the news hits. Then price is rejecting from this fair value gap. That's what I like. So let's see what price does. Should I take this trade on demo and see how our news delivers, right? Guys, which high impact news is at 10? It's not a high impact news, it's like a medium impact news. US pending. Okay, now that I'm gonna take this trade on demo, I wanna see how price delivers. I don't care. It's a demo account, folks, so I'm still gonna wait how this candle behaves, and I wanna see if 10 o'clock news, medium impact news, respects my analysis. US pending says yes, it's medium impact. I thought we don't trade high impact only. You are a greedy person here. We don't trade any news, medium impact and high impact news. We avoid both. I avoid both, to be honest. Okay, so before I even push the button, right, this candle here, it like moving aggressively. Look at Nasdaq, folks, how price retraced. Okay, because of the news, you are seeing this retracement right here. Look at the retracement. Price came down, generated equal low, right? So it should take it out. It should not retrace like this. It's in a high impact, like high resistance liquidity run. That's what I don't like. And look at US 30. Unicorn on US 100 based on what? There's no unicorn. It's just a fair value gap setup. You wanna trade in this condition, in this price action, when price is like moving both side, delivering both side aggressively in every candle. Okay, I don't. So I will just wait till 9:50. Okay, does anyone have, I'm gonna open the chat window and then I'm gonna ask this question because I really wanna know it. Okay, so did anyone ever traded with Funded Next? That they are a trading platform, like Funded trading platform. So do you guys ever traded with them? Funded Next, or did you got a payout if you did? The people who were telling me they have, did you got a payout from them? That's what I'm basically asking. Not my forex fund, guys. I'm talking about Funded Next. Awais Tariq, you are telling me like you got a payout from them, right? Do you know my Twitter handle? If you know it, can you please share the certificate that you got from them in my text? I would really appreciate that, Tariq. They're Bangladesh based. Really? In Bangladesh, I know trading is illegal. So how the hell they opened a trading firm there without government's approval? So no one basically other than Awais, Tariq, traded with Funded Next, right? It's only one person that I see here who got like a payout from them. So this breaker block here, if you were like taking this trade from here, it would generate a lot of emotion inside you. Like look at this, price went up, right? It would have gave you a partial, clean partial here, but after that price retraced and it would have hit your stop loss right here, because after taking a partial, what do? We trail our stop loss to the entry, right? And now the price closed the candle's body above this inversion. I want to see price closing a candle's body above this inversion. If it does that, it will hunt this equal high that it left. We are inside of our macro, but we will not take this macro. No trades today. Like 8:20 to 8:30, no setup. 9:20 to 9:30, no setup. Then this setup, basically it got activated after 9:35. Okay, so that's the time when I don't trade. So and 9:50 to 10:10, you can see that there's no breaker block here. Okay, because I'm talking about Funded Next, okay, there's no problem with them. Me personally, I never traded with them, so I don't know how they do work. But let's see, okay, like they're talking about like building a farm on MT5 and MT4 with their own server. So that's the first time like I'm hearing a prop firm using their own server. No one here on this industry or any prop firm does that, right? So basically every prop firm, mostly they are like with elite cap. And me personally, I never heard any funded trading company mentioning that they will provide trading with their own server. So that's something is like suspicious to me. But we will see. Okay, I haven't seen anyone taking a payout from them yet, whom I know. FTMO has their own server. Didn't knew that. Okay, I guess it's because I'm not trading with a funded company. So okay, do you guys see how price got support from this inversion after it closed the candle's body here? Price closed the candle's body here, then the second candle, it came down, right? Got support from it, generated equal low. So let's see at 9:30 if we have a clean setup after price delivers by equal high here and then buy side liquidity here. So Nasdaq delivered liquidity up here, the level that I outlined to you guys. That's a equal high. So price did delivered here, and price did delivered another level of liquidity right here. So and we have clean lows, right? Look at the low here. These are really clean lows, so I'm expecting a run on here at news. Okay, at news. So on US 30, let's look at US 30 how it should behave. If I measure the 4-hour order block, let's dive into the 4-hour chart. And that's our 4-hour order block, right? So if I measure it, our midway comes here. So let's see how price behaves, okay folks? If price shows a rejection from the lower quadrant, from upper quadrant, and the lower quadrant, the midway, and the upper quadrant, we will take a trade. So it will be something like this. I'm putting it in a wrong way. Yeah, so the measurement will be something like this. So let's drop down. Price hit our lower quadrant level right now on US 30. So I want to see price rejecting from each of these levels. Like if it does that, it's okay. We'll have a clean trade idea, and we can predict the news. On Nasdaq, you can see price delivered buy side liquidity quite efficiently, and it left this relative equal low. Yeah, I'm talking about funded next because I think I'm gonna do a giveaway on Twitter on like 20k account. I think they have 25k account, or maybe something like this, 20 or 25k account. I think they will give me 20 or 25k account, and then I'll do a giveaway. I did a giveaway with them before, so that's the reason I asked you guys, like if anyone ever got a payout from them. But no one other than one person here actually did traded with them. There's 400 people watching. Very few actually succeed on funded accounts, right? There's a limit like 5%, and FTMO is the best, to be honest. And now that my funded FX, it's like beating FTMO. When I was growing up as a trader, there was only FTMO, right? And now we have a lot of trading firms here, like Funded Next, and then My Funded FX. A lot, right? I don't trade with them, but that's the reason I don't know how they work. Yeah, My Funded FX, they're legit because a lot of people, a lot of them, are like showing the proof, okay? Okay, price showed a rejection from sound is not clear. Is my sound not clear, folks? Someone is saying it, my sound is not clear. Price got rejected from the lower quadrant here, so I'm predicting news towards the sell side. Oh my god, why is it not? Yeah. Towards the sell side, a run on liquidity. That's what I want to see. A run on sell side liquidity, basically. If there was no news, I would have pushed my button here, but I won't do it because of the news. Maria is saying 5 ERs, FTMO, and my Forex funds are my favorite, but they all are CFD. What's wrong with CFD is same with like features, right? The move same is just like a tick of difference. Other than that, same price action, same knowledge. You can apply the same concept again and again. Okay, if price is hitting this fair value gap, right, I will push a button on demo if it's doing it. This fair value gap right here that you see, because its price is inside of our breaker block that I outlined, if you guys remember. Then price is also like got rejected from our 4-hour order block. So yeah, price did exactly what I wanted. So I will just push a button. It's a demo account, folks, and we have a news at 10. In 1 minute we have a news, so don't do that on your live funds. It's on demo. I really don't care if it does hit my stop loss or my TP or anything. It's just an idea that I want to see price respect at news. So ATP will be right here. Let's see if price reject or and respects this fair value gap right here. I'm basically expecting a run on sell side because of the lows it created, the equal lows. Can nothing happen at news? Really? So price that closed the candles body above this fair value gap. So this trade idea is not valid anymore, because you can see price closed the candles body above the midway, right? And above the upper quadrant of this fair value gap. So it will remain heavy towards the buy side. So that's the reason I told you guys that that's the idea. That's just the idea. It's not a live like it's not a perfect scenario to push the button on live account. That's how you should test your trade ideas, right? If you are pushing a button on demo, nothing happens emotionally. But if you are taking this trade on your live funds, every time price goes against you, you are like emotionally getting so high. So that emotion will kill you, okay? That emotion will kill the trader that you want to become in future, that you dream to become. If you don't realize it by now, like, you should realize it by now. You should not push a button before the news release on your live funds. You saw it today, you know, like so I see some people here, they are desperately waiting to push the button. Why? Why, folks? Why do you do it? There, I'm showing it to you. There will be setup every day, but it doesn't mean that you should trade every day. When the price action is clean, right, you will not become emotionally high that time. That time is perfect to take a trade on live funds. This week so far, I'm just sitting on my hands. I didn't push any button on my live funds. So did anything happen? No. I'm learning better than you. Ramesis is saying, I'm desperate. Last week I was around 52.500 and now my account is around 48.0. I lost all my profits because the challenge expires in 3 days. So if you are here to use me as a signal, you will lose your account because I'm just pushing button when the probability is low, right? That's a low probability scenario and I'm pushing the button, and if you are copying me, you will lose the money because that's not a high probability setup. So don't do that, and losses happens, okay? A lot of blown accounts, and after that you will get a funded account. After you master emotion, not a strategy. A strategy, a breaker block, any ICT concept, that's not the holy grail. The holy grail is your emotion. If you can control your emotion, just like I'm doing, just like other ICT trader does, you will be able to make the money. Look how price is consolidating here. And look at US 100. You wanna trade in this condition? Look how US 100 generated equal lows, right? Didn't even take it. It's just generating equal lows and getting rejected from this rejection block. Every time price creates a like a what? Weak, big weak, it becomes a rejection block like this. Like so, if I extend it out on time, you can see how beautifully price is rejecting from these rejection blocks. If you don't know about rejection block, you can go ahead in my mentors YouTube channel and you can search rejection block. You will get what I'm talking about if you don't know it. So if this trade idea is painting out, right, I think I can hold down here and I'll take a partial in this fair value gap. So once price hits this fair value gap, create a new order. I'll put like 3 contracts to get taken out. Buy limit here. And I think I will target this fair value gap down here. And if it's still showing willingness to go towards the sell side, if the move is aggressive, we can target these lows down here. That also makes sense to me. But let's see, and let's wait and let's see what price does. It's a low probability condition. Price is moving with dollar basically. So not me who's gonna push a button on live funds. I'm literally preaching not to push a button on live funds. So if you do that, other than that, and if you are following me, that's what you should not do. Look at that. Dollar is delivering towards the sell side. So what do we expect indices to do? To deliver towards the buy side. Is it doing that? No, so that's not a high probability condition. So now the price moved in my direction, I'll trail my stop loss and put it above the candle's body here. After price hits this partial level that I marked here, right? I think I'll take partial here at the upper quadrant, okay? Upper quadrant of this fair value gap. If I measure this fair value gap, the upper quadrant of this fair value gap will come here. Look at this here. So that's a level I think we can take a partial. So that's a fair value gap that I outlined to you. Let me hide some drawing first. This chart is so choppy. Why is that? Like so full of everything. I don't like it at all. 4 minutes. 2 minutes. So what I basically did, the confirmation for this trade, how did I got it? Do you guys remember what I told you all? What was the confirmation for this trade? Does anyone remember? If you do, please let me know in the chat. So we got a partial here, so I will trail my stop loss and I will put it like this. So that's how I basically trade, and how I learned trading like this. Once I started tape reading, that's the time I knew that like I should trade like this. That gives me high percentage of win rate. Nasdaq is just chopping around. I really don't like this pair anymore. Nasdaq, look at this. Nothing interesting. US 500. I measured the 60-minute week, right? And look at how price is consolidating inside this week. Not delivering towards one direction. Nothing clear, it's just consolidating. Another partial, if prices still wanna come down, another partial will be below this low. Down here, these relative equal lows, right? These up close candles, down close candles that you see here, that's our mitigation block. So let's see if price reject from that, and with that aligned, we have a fair value gap right here. So that's a fair value gap again here. I'll wait and see how the next candle behaves. If it does that, I'll execute once more time. Someone is saying, I suppose if we see 5 minute on US 100, it will be easily understood, realize it is low probability. Yeah, you don't have to look at 5 minute to know it's a low probability setup. If you look at dollar and how dollar is behaving, if you only look at dollar, you'll be able to know that. Like it's not a high probability setup at all. This market condition right now is not high probability at all. I want to see this candle that opened right now to close below this fair value gap. If it does that, it will remain heavy towards the sell side. If it does not do that, okay, it will just come up and it will hit my stop loss. Someone is saying US 30 is better than NAS. It's not like US 30 is better. That's the reason I'm trading. It's my pair. I've always been trading on this pair. If I was like starting my trading career with Nasdaq, I would have stuck with that. But I didn't. I started with US 30. That's the reason I'm staying with US 30. That's the reason I'm trading on US 30. But yesterday I outlined setup on Nasdaq, right? If you guys remember. So this candle is showing willingness to go towards the downside. I pushed my market again. So a partial will be here, right? Our stop loss is 20 tick and our profit is like 78 tick. So let's see if price goes below this fair value gap, right? Now that price is showing willingness. Look how price is reacting on each of these candle from this fair value gap. That's how you know if your trade idea is correct or not. If this candle is coming up, right, again and going above this fair value gap, our trade idea is not valid. As long as this candle closes its body below this fair value gap or below the lower quadrant, it will remain heavy towards the sell side, and that's what you will see. Okay, look how it's behaving. Our last stage of stop loss will be above this fair value gap. If price is not rejecting from this fair value gap, right, this trade idea that I shared with you here is wrong. Look at US 500, how it's generating equal highs, equal low, relative equal low. So price basically has liquidity in both sides of the market. So if we are pushing, I haven't blocked anyone for like a long time. Tell me you took this trade with me on your live funds so that I can block you. I wanna increase the block number on my YouTube, so please do that. Say that you took this trade with me. On demo, if it's on demo, it's okay. Okay, I'm not doing a signal here, so Stephen Edwosman, yes, you are blocked. Bye, Stephen. Anyone else? Music is over, so blocked. Nice, wow. It's increasing. So we got a partial, right? Price did gave us a partial, but because of the pyramid, so that would be the execution. Now that I toggled on the execution, you can see it. I executed here, then price dropped. Price gave us a partial here, right? I took off 3 contract, then I entered again with 3. So basically, like, it's a losing position. It's a low probability condition, folks. Market is generating liquidity in both sides. There's nothing to like predict, and there's nothing in high probability to push a button on them on like on live funds. There's no high probability setup that I see that I should take on my live fund. It's 10:15, right? Today today I'm feeling good, so I will keep streaming until like other macros. Our next macro starts at 10:50, so let's see if the next macro provides us any setup. So price generated higher high, price came up, right? That's the order block. I measured it. So that's our midway of this order block. It's on 4-hour chart, by the way. So if I take you on 4-hour chart, it will be more visible to you. Before the news, right, there was high probability condition. And after the news, market is just generating liquidities in both sides. And let's look at NASDAQ on 60-minute chart. So NASDAQ is coming near to this big wick here. So I'm going to measure it. That's the beauty of knowing when you should trade and when you should not. If I was pushing my button on my live funds, now I would have a blown account right now. By now, the trades that I showed you, like 3 trades, and 3 of them failed, right? So if I was pushing my button on live funds, I would have had a blown account if I was a beginner. If not, I would have like emotionally very high. Okay, and it would have been very hard for me to sit in front of chart. But because I'm just learning and doing tape reading, because of that, I'm not feeling anything, no emotions inside me. I know it's a part of business. It's not that every day will make profit, every day you will have a customer, right? If you are opening a business, not every day you will have a customer. Someday you will have customers, someday you will refund to customers, right? Someday you will lose money from business. So it's just like a business. So I'll keep looking at this week here. I want to see how price rejects from this big week on hourly chart on NASDAQ. That's another retail bits. I told you when I was a beginner, okay? So US 500, nothing special. 100, Dixie. Wow, look at dollar. So dollar respected my analysis quite beautifully today. But the other pairs, they are moving with dollar. They were moving with dollar before the news, right? So that's the condition that price generates to manipulate a lot. Corvax, I made money last week. It's not every day that I make money. I think Corvax makes money every day. I'm inviting you to come and show us how you make money every day. Corvax, can you do that? I'm proposing a collab with you. Signal is bullshit, okay? Another retail. I'm gonna block you. You don't belong. He's coming here and telling me to open a Signal. Did any of you ever heard that anyone becoming consistently profitable from getting Signal? No. Signal is full of shit, okay? It's only the people who don't make money from trading that do signals. See, because Signal is a very good business. If you are doing signals, right? Every person that you will get, they are literally paying you minimum $50. So if I have like 100 people in my Signal group, if I open a Signal group, I will have 100 people, that's for sure. So if I open like 100 people, if Join now multiply that 50 with 100, how much it becomes? A lot of money. So a couple of block user, I really like it. Okay, so dollar US 30 is rejecting from this order block, right? US 30 came up, hit the midway. Do you guys see it? and we are getting close to our macro. We still have though 30 minutes before our macro starts, and let's talk about the targets. Okay, we have another macro, so let's see where that macro can deliver. That's a big fair value gap, 4-hour fair value gap. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna measure this fair value gap. Our old analysis are all wrong on US 30, so I'm basically like forget about what I did before. I'm gonna start again. So that's a fair value gap, big fair value gap, right? That's a 4-hour fair value gap, and it's an unfilled fair value gap. So I'm expecting a run on this fair value gap, but let's see if it does that or not. Okay, this candle will take 3 hours to close, so no, I'm not gonna see it on 4-hour chart though. Let's drop down to the 60-minute chart. Okay, so there's no fair value gap that I can see that is unfilled on higher time frame, but I can see a lot of equal lows. So what I'm gonna do is like basically mark the equal lows as my target. You can see how beautifully price is rejecting, by the way, from this order block right here. So let's see what it does, and let's drop down to the 50-minute chart. There we will see clean targets. So a clean target would be here. That's a relative equal low. A lot of you are like writing paragraph. Internal sell side liquidity. So we can target this low here. Is that a SMT with US 500 or US 100? Let's look at that. No, it's not a SMT though. They both generated relative equal lows. And I do see a fair value gap here that is unfilled on 50-minute chart. So what I'm doing basically is just I'm marking liquidity and imbalance for my next macro. Fair value gap plus fair value gap. Okay, so that would be our main interest of target. This equal low right here. Right, that's the unfilled fair value gap. If I measure the swing low from the low here to the top, so the premium comes in here, right? So this fair value gap is below premium. So this will be our high probability target 1. If price is closing in candles body below this fair value gap, our target 2 will be this low here. And after that, if price wanna remain heavy towards the sell side at PM session, right? We can expect to see price delivering here. So I'm basically gonna only take trade on sell side, not on buy side, because I do see relative equal low, double bottom, right? A lot of double bottom, triple bottom. So I'm not gonna take any trade based on that. That's what retail do, and retails are massively profitable from that. Suppose you were a retail, okay, and you see a double top here. What you will do, you will buy. You see another double top here, you will pyramid in your entry without, like, you don't need any other logic. And the retail, they will lose a lot of money once price comes down and goes below this level. So I'm just like waiting to predict that the run on these equal lows. So that's the reason I'm not gonna take any trade. I limited myself from following any retail concept. Retails are full of shit, okay? Retails are liquidity. Retails are our liquidity. This is our liquidity. So where the retails put stop loss, we'll basically target that. So price showed rejection, and at the same time, why price is just leaving this internal buy side liquidity? Why? I wanted to see this buy side liquidity getting taken out and then a drop. That would have make a like clean analysis, but here you can see price just left this equal high. Is that a SMT with US 100? Let's see, let's see. It's not, but US 100 did deliver to this high here, right? That's a swing high, and US 30 didn't. So is that a SMT? Let me know in the chat. Is it a SMT? I think it is, right? So that's the reason we are seeing this move down below here with other confirmation like measuring the order block and stuff. Let's look at US 500. Okay, US 500 went above the week that I shared with you all, and I think that's a new week opening gap. Let me check. Yes, that's a new week opening gap, and you can see price went above this new week opening gap. So for me to get bearish again, price will have to come down and close the candle's body below the midway of this new day opening gap. It's not a new week opening gap. But price also did left this relative equal highs here. Right, that's a relative equal high here. So I think it will hunt buy side liquidity, right? Towards the buy side liquidity, it makes sense. On US 30, price left this buy side liquidity, generated equal high, but on US 100, price generated SMT. In this condition, I really like when I tape read, but I really don't like when I'm pushing the button in my live funds. Yeah, Rhythmic is saying, hi Hydra, Lux Algo released the indicator you did together. Yes, he released it. Is it 10 already? Yeah. So it's out. Let's see how it works. Let's see if it's available or not. Map breaker block. Okay, it's not available here. Let me check with Smack. He's the CEO of Lux Algo. Okay, it's on Twitter, folks. You guys can go ahead on Lux Algo and you guys can check it out. Okay, I retweeted that from Luxelgo. If you guys are following me on Twitter, you guys can check out that indicator that he released. It's basically based on my model, the way I trade, the way I talk with you guys about the model that I'm using, breaker block with macros. He's still developing the macro indicator. Okay, so he's not yet done developing that. Once he is done, you will be able to use both of these indicators together. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use this indicator in my chart today, and I will see like how it behaves. Okay, okay, is it working or not? Breaker block with Luxel, go with signals. Okay, let's just talk about this breaker block, right? We still have 20 minutes before our macro starts. So once our macro starts, I will stop talking about this indicator and I will just like talk about what we are doing basically. Use only candles body, use 2 candles instead of 1. Okay, so that's a lot of settings. So you can see that this thing actually outlined the breaker block quite beautifully, right? That's a breaker block setup. Price generated a higher high here and went above, generated another higher high. So it's basically marking the breaker block wrong. This will be our breaker block, but anyway, it's pointing it out. An indicator, it's not gonna be correct, right? Always, but let's see how it's projecting price. I'm on 50-minute. Let's drop down to 3-minute chart. I just want to see some examples. Okay, you can see an example here. Now that I'm on 3-minute chart on US 30, this indicator pointed out this breaker block quite nicely, huh? That's our breaker block. Price did a stop hunt, right? We went below this low, old low, new lower low. So these up close candles becomes our breaker block, right? And you can see that how price closed the candle's body above. After that, this indicator basically gives you a signal to enter the next candle, just as I teach you guys. Okay, once price closes a candle's body above the breaker block, you can execute at the next candle. So it's basically pointing a signal here. Then once price comes down, what it basically does, it also marks the breaker block and it also marks the midway. So you know if price is going below the midway, you should close your trade. Wow, so it did quite beautifully, right? He developed it very beautifully. I think this trade alone, if you are just following this indicator, and if you are putting your stop loss below here, yeah, this indicator alone will just give you like 3 to 4 hour. Yeah, that's a 4-hour trade. And if you are only targeting like 2 hour, it's easy 2 hour. Let's look, let's see if it's showing any other example. No, I think on past price behavior it does not show example, right? It's only printing when price is live. So let's use it today. Let's see how this indicator behaves. Better than me or not. So that's a fair value gap I outlined. I think I outlined it on 5-minute chart or like 15-minute, I guess. Yeah, so this fair value gap on 15-minute chart is still unfilled and we are inside of this order block. I think you will have to use a replay mode, okay, to know if this indicator is behaving good or not. We will also release a macro indicator. So if you pair both like breaker block setup will present itself in our macro zone. It will be like a very good indicator. Nothing in front of us yet. Okay, so this thing basically will also show you TP. Like it will come with partial, right? TP1, TP2, just like I tell you guys, like take a partial here, then put your TP here, right? So it's basically will do that too. So that's what I also told him, and I think he listened to it very carefully, and the way he developed it is beautiful. So what it's doing is projecting. Why the color is like this? Can I change the colors of breaker block? Because it's not matching with my background color right here. But I think if I do a dark, right? Yeah, now it's good. Now you can see it clearly. So what it's basically doing, once price closes a candle's body above the breaker block, right? So our hard work worked out, right? It took a long time to develop, and Laxelgo, he's like, his name is Smack. So Smack, he basically like did a session with me, and we talked about it a lot, and you can see that it's projecting price beautifully. That's our premium PDRA, and that's our discount PDRA. It's not pointing discount PDRA though. Anyway, you can see how it plotted three lines, three yellow lines that you see. These are basically your target: TP1, TP2, TP3, and price delivered both beautifully, right? Me personally, this is my model, right? So I didn't use an indicator to get this model. How did I got this model? From my own freaking mind. So if you are using this indicator and relying on it like completely, don't do it. It can be a helpful, it can be very helpful if you are new, but if you are an old student like of ICT, I'll suggest you to only use your eye rather than using this indicator. Okay, there's nothing happening. Price is just like manipulating a lot. I do see a breaker block here, but I'm expecting to see a run up above this swing high that price generated. That's a equal high, right? If I take you can see it here clearly. That's a equal high, relative equal high, and I want to see price coming up and taking this relative equal high out. Okay, I'm just gonna turn off this indicator. It's just like I don't like it. I don't like anything in my chart other than the lines that I have. If you like it, you can use it. I'm not gonna suggest you strongly to use it. It's not gonna happen. So if price doing a stop hunt here, we will have these down close candles as our breaker block. That's what I'm expecting to see, and we are getting close to our macro, right? 10-minute. In 10-minute, if price delivers this liquidity here, we will have a clean trade idea, because that's a major level of sell side, buy side liquidity. If I take you on 60-minute chart, right, this level right here, what do you see? It's also a swing high on hourly chart, and now the price generated equal high. This candle's high, look here, look above here. This candle's high comes in at 33,568, and this candle's high comes in at 33,568. So these two high are relatively equal. The indicator is free. Yeah, if you are patient enough, Robin, I'm talking to you. If you wanna see progress inside of you in your trading, don't use an indicator. I will not suggest you to use an indicator. Okay, let's talk about other chart. You can okay, I can see a stop hunt here on US 500, right? So let's see if it's a major high. Yes, that's a major high. That's a relative equal high here. Let's take you guys on the 60-minute chart. Okay, so you can see the price came up, right? And delivered, cleared this equal high. So now I want to see if price has any other clean level of liquidity towards the buy side. If not, I can expect to see a run on sell side at our next macro. No, if I measure this fair value gap right here, that's a fair value gap that I see on 4-hour chart. So if I measure it, price is now inside of the lower quadrant, right? It will be something like this. Yeah. So what do you see here? Price is now inside of this lower quadrant here. So let's see if price rejects after taking out this low, or if price is coming up and hitting the midway, right? That will be a strong confirmation. If price comes up and hits the midway here, that will be a strong confirmation. So that's what I want to see. Let's drop down to the 5-minute chart. And you can see the price is rejecting after taking out this high here, the relative equal high. So these candles right here, our time is not aligned yet. It's 10:42. We look for trade at 10:50. Let's look at dollar. Dollar is rejecting from this inversion, then this fair value gap. So for me to get bearish on dollar, I will have to see price closing candles body below this gray shaded box that you see. I think it's our 60-minute fair value gap, right? Or not, maybe 50-minute. What is this? I marked it somewhere, right? So yeah, it's a 3-minute fair value gap. Let me write it down so that I don't forget again. 3-minute. 3-minute, and you can see price got support from it, right? And if price is remaining heavy towards the buy side, what do we expect to see on indices? To price to drop, right? But we do have breaker block though on dollar. If I hide some of my drawings, it will become more clear to you. Do you see the breaker block here? We have a breaker block right here. That's our breaker block. And if I extend it out on time, you can see price respected. Okay, let's see if our indicator is outlining this breaker block. Wow. Wow, this indicator is legit. Look at that. I just outlined this setup to you, right? And this indicator, now that I'm pointing it to you, I didn't saw it printing or pointing it live, but look at this. It's really cool to see when people are making indicator based on your personal model. So these are a breaker block, right? I outlined to you here. Price closing candles body below. So our entry would be here, right? And this indicator basically is also showing you where to close your trade. So you can see that it's also printing discount PD array, just like I do, okay? So why is it a discount PD array? If you point your Fibonacci, right, you will see that this level is coming. It's just general knowledge. This level is coming below this discount PD array. So when do we take our profit? In the discount PD array, right? And you can see how beautifully price respected this signal here. Price generated a higher high, then new higher high. So these down close candles that you see here becomes our breaker block, and you can see that was a beautiful rejection. So I want to see price rejecting from this breaker block again. If not, if price is remaining heavy or aggressive towards the buy side, right, we can see a drop on indices. We can expect to see a drop on indices. I wish I could change the colors. I don't know how to change it. US 100, what's it doing? It's doing anything significant? Nothing. I do see lower level of target. Okay, equal lows down here. I personally wanna see price remaining heavy towards the sell side, but this condition right here is delivering towards the buy side, right? It's manipulating, it's not respecting my analysis, so not me who's gonna push a button. It's free for everyone, Maria. Maria is saying, like, I wonder if everyone starts using this indicator, will the model fail? Okay, that's something to think about. How many subscribers ICT has? I think it's now around 600,000. So I can minimum 10,000 people from his subscriber using his concept, right? And if I consider the minimum level, at least 1,000 people from the 600,000 people will be consistently profitable traders, right? That's the minimum. So did any of his concepts stopped working? It did not. What you are seeing right here, sometimes like ICT tells us to point out the equal low and to expect a run on equal low, right? Or equal high. But recently you can see the price is rejecting from those blocks, from those rejection block. It's not going below those equal high or equal high that is generating. Look at here. Price generated equal high here, but price took it? No, it should that we expect to see price running towards the sell side after it takes out a equal high, but did here? No. So it's basically because of the seasonal tendencies. It's not that ICT concept is started failing. No. When ICT concept will start working, it's still working, okay? When price will respect this equal high and equal low, all of the retail traders will get wrecked. So algo will never stop working. Just forget about that. ICT has been teaching for 30 years, okay? Just imagine, like, if he and he has a lot of students. It's not like 400, 500. It's thousands of people, and thousands of people are using his concept for 30 freaking years. Did any of his concept failed? No. It's your emotion, okay? It's your emotion, Maria, that makes you fail. Other than that, there's nothing. Every concept work. You just have to know when your concept work or not. So there's no setup today, guys. Like it's consolidating this market. It's just manipulating very slow. So our macro zone is, we are inside of our macro zone is 1059, right? And we didn't took out this high. I wanted to see a raid on this high, this buy side liquidity first, and then a drop, but it's not happening. Let's look at US 500. Okay, US 500 did a stop hunt, took out a major level of liquidity. So US 500 looks clean to me. And it's also rejecting from that hourly wick that I outlined, I guess. Or I think it was our fair value gap, right? Yes, it was our fair value gap. This fair value gap is a 4-hour fair value gap I outlined to you. And I measured it, and I wanted to see a rejection in price from 0.25, right? And if price is coming up and rejecting from the midway, that will be a strong confirmation for me to see a trade on sell side. Other than that, I'm just sitting still, doing nothing. So let's see if price closes the candle body below it. If it does, we do have target. This liquidity down here, that can be our target, a strong level of target. Let's look at 1 minute chart. Yes, on 1 minute I think this would be a level we can take a partial here. Isra is asking, is the US 500 breaker block still valid? Which breaker block are you talking about? I'm on US 500 chart, and I outlined the breaker block to you here. That's a valid breaker block. It's not valid yet. Once price closes the candle body below it, that's when it will get valid, but right now it's not valid. Let's put US 30 here. A lot of retails are asking me, we always look for buy below old low and look for short above old high, right sir? No, you have to have target to look for a short. Am I just looking for a short after price takes out a equal high? No, I see a target. I see relative equal lows. Equal lows are strong target. That's the reason I'm expecting a drop. Not just because price took a major liquidity level. Yes, we do expect a run on sell side after price takes out a major level of buy side liquidity, but you will have to have a target. So price closing candle body below. Not yet though. So I want to see price closing candle body below it, and then I think I can engage. Sorry for that. I don't know what happened. It just like went into that scene. Did price close the candle body below here? No, it did not. It didn't close the candle body below yet, so there's no valid trade idea anymore. I want to see price closing a candle body below it, and after that I will be able to engage. And on US 30 you can see another breaker block though, so I'm just gonna outline it. Price, I think we'll close the candle body below here, right? Okay, so I'm gonna stick with US 30. Yeah, so price, this candle here, I want to see how this candle behaves. If this candle gives an entry to me, I will execute here. 3 contract, I'll make it 5. Okay, beautiful. Okay, let's see, price is dropping. I'm in. Our stop loss will be above the midway here, and our TP will be down here. A partial would be here. That's a zone that I will take a partial. Okay, trade create limit. I'll take off, like, I have 8 contracts here. I will take off 4 because I don't trust this price action anymore. Right, this price action is shitty. So let's see what it does, to be honest. So that's our breaker block. Let me outline everything to you. Right, I took this trade on my live funds because that's a very clean setup. I see it. There's a lot of confirmation. Okay, once I outline everything to you, I will talk about the confirmation that I saw. So that's a 3-minute breaker block. 3-minute. And that's a higher high, right? Price went above that higher high, so this becomes higher high, higher high. That's a stop hunt basically. So I'll just mark a stop hunt, top, and then that's our new higher high, new higher high. Right, left, okay. And that's our fair value gap that is on discount. That's the reason I'm taking a partial here. Why? Because that's the level, it's on discount, right? And I'm gonna mark it like this, plus fair value gap, and it's on discount PD array. I'm not gonna mark it like that, it doesn't look good. I'm not looking at the chat window, by the way, so if you guys are like typing, I'm not looking there. I'm focused here. And this trade is inside of our macro, right? I'm gonna hide my position. Execution will be toggled on. Okay, so that's what I see basically. I outlined everything to you. So I hope everything is clear, right? So that's our breaker block. If I drop down to the 1-minute chart, let's see what's happening on 1 minute. Well, okay, so one minute chart, there was even cleaner setup, right? Our execution could have been here inside this fair value gap, right? So that's a fair value gap on 1 minute chart. If I outline it to you, it looks like something like this. It looks something like this. So there's a fair value gap. So I put in my stop loss here. So now I think you can see the logic. If price is coming up, right, going above the midway, our trade idea is anywhere wrong. And what I'm basically doing, I'm gonna target like 2R from here. So that's our stop loss, and from here to 2R is here. So TP can be here. If I toggle on my execution, you'll be able to see where I executed here at this candle, right? The fair value gap. Okay, now the price took equal high here. It generated equal high, right? I don't want to see price going above this fair value gap again. If it does that, our trade idea is most probably wrong. Okay, let's see if indicator outlined this setup. If our indicator did outline this setup to us or not. It didn't though. Okay, I want to see price remain heavy towards the sell side. Now the price took equal high here. It generated equal high on 1 minute chart, right? If you see it here, that's the equal high that price generated. Price took it, and this candle you can see is providing support towards the sell side. So I want to see price remain heavy towards the sell side. Now let's see what it does. So it's just chopping around. Today is a low probability day, right? So you can see that no clean move. It's inside of our macro though. 11, it's 11 o'clock. We still have 10 minutes before the macro stops. And on US 500, you can see price generated a fair value gap here, right? That's a breakup block that I outlined before it got activated. And you can see after price closed the candle's body below it, it also did generated a fair value gap here. So let's see if price reject on ES after from this fair value gap here. And on US 100, price didn't activated the breakup block on US 100 yet. That's our breakup block on US 100. And we do have clean target though. Look at the targets here. These levels are really clean, right? And we have equal lows here. Not US 100 didn't even provided any liquidity towards the sell side. No, not even internal sell side liquidity. Okay, it's delivering like short-term liquidity here. That's a liquidity level right here. So it delivered that here, and then it moved aggressively and generated equal low. It chopped around a couple of times, and then it went above to the buy side. So let's see if price does respect our analysis and my analysis, and price delivers to us the buy side, sell side. Keep in mind that we do have equal high on hourly chart on US 30. For me to see it as a trade is because of the confirmation that I saw. Price rejected from here, and then I marked the order block, right, for our order block, if you guys remember. So price also came below this order block, rejected from this order block again. Price generated a breaker block. If I take you guys on 3-minute chart, you can see that that's a breaker block here. And what do you see price did? Price generated this breaker block, closed the candle's body below this breaker block. So like 2 or 3 confirmation. So that's a low probability setup, but it's a clean setup. In a low probability condition, that's a clean setup. That's what I was saying. Anyway, let's see what price does. Right, it's just chopping around. I don't like choppiness. I want to see strong move. Let's look at dollar. Dollar, I think dollar will pump towards the moon. Moon is here. That's the moon. So let's see if dollar goes up, right, and delivers here. If it does that, US 30 will give us a partial, and then we can trail our stop loss, right? So that's the level. That's the fair value gap here, and this fair value gap is on premium. So let's see if price comes here and delivers to this fair value gap on dollar. If I take you guys onto the 1-minute chart, yes, this level makes sense. This level is also coming with this swing high here. So let's see. Okay, the risk that I took on this trade, it was 0.5% of my account because of the low probability condition, you know. If I lose 0.5%, to me it's nothing. But if you are risking like a lot of money on on this trade, it will be a lot for you to handle, not for me. Very less that I care about 0.5% loss, because if I win one trade this week, what I will get like 2R, I will overcome, I will like make the loss back and plus profit with one trade. So for me to get in a losing streak, I will have to lose 4 or 5 trades in a row. After that, I'll be like in a losing streak, and but before that, no. So let's look at US 500, and you can see price is just chopping around, manipulating. High resistance liquidity run, folks. That's what it looks like. Price is generating liquidity towards the sell side. It's waiting for the time to get matched, and after it get matched, it will deliver towards the sell side. US 30 is beaching today, right? Look at that. It's generating equal high, and then dropping, then coming up again, clearing the equal high, then generating equal high again, then dropping, then coming up again. It's doing something like this. That's what you see on high resistance liquidity run. Price wanna go to that level, but at the same time, it don't wanna provide any profit to you. So on US 500, I see a clean target here below this low, right? That's a very clean target, and you can see how many equal lows price generated. So to me, I wanna see price delivering towards the sell side. So that's a partial here, right? It will get activated automatically. I put a buy limit here. So partial done, right? So now I will trail my stop loss. Now the price gave me a partial, I will trail my stop loss. Let's hide the execution. Let's see where I can put it. I will put it at the midway right now, right here like this. So we got a partial, we took like half of our position off because of the price condition that you see here. So now let's see if price gives us 2R. And on US 500, right, if you guys heard me, if you guys have been in this stream when I outlined this setup in front of you, you know what I was talking about this breaker block, right, on US 500. So when price was here on US 500, right, I outlined this breaker block to you guys, and price delivered a major level of sell side buy side liquidity. That was the confirmation. Price delivered a major level of buy side liquidity, then price rejected from an hourly week. Do you guys remember? So the main confirmation that came is from US 500. So that was a fair value gap on 4-hour chart. I'm getting confused. Okay, so that's a fair value gap I outlined, right? And I marked it before price actually showed a rejection here. I outlined and I told you guys that I want to see price rejecting from the midway or from the lower quadrant. If it does from the midway, that will be a strong confirmation. But if it reject from here, it's okay. And it did reject it from here. And at the same time, after price delivered towards the buy side here, right, it cleared a major level of buy side liquidity. It's not a small level of buy side liquidity, folks. Look at the equal highs that price had. Equal high, a lot of equal highs. So price generated sell side liquidity and delivered towards the buy side aggressively. Okay, and after price took it out, that's a major level of buy side liquidity. After price took it out, I was like, okay, as price has strong level of liquidity towards the sell side, I want to see price taking it out. So that's the reason I told you, now that I'm seeing a rejection in price from this fair value gap, I'll trail my stop loss here above the entry. Even if price is coming up, right, and taking me out, I don't want to see price coming up and taking me out. That's the reason I trail my stop loss to my entry. If it does that, I will be done with this partial. I took this trade on my live funds, I told you guys, right? So yeah, that will be a 2R. I got a partial. So let's see what price does. If it gives me a 2R, basically I'm gonna be done for the week. If I'm getting 2R tomorrow again, this week will be very good for me. I'll make more than what I was making on my job. Right, I was making like in a day I was making 140. That's max. Like, I worked in a lot of places and 140 was the max that I was making. So now that I'm sitting here talking with you guys all, I'm enjoying myself, right? I'm doing what I love to do, what I'm passionate about, right? It's my hobby. And this hobby is my profession. And this profession pays really good, like, right? In one trade, if I can generate more than what I was making, what I was making with the money from my day job, why should I care about like getting rich so quick? No, I can make my ends meet with 2R, so I'm happy with 2R. Okay, let's look at US 100. Someone is saying Pat X. US 100 is beaching. No clean setup here on US 100. Look at US 100. So you guys can ask me how Hydra you know that US 100 will beach and US 30 will not beach and provide a clean setup. It comes with experience, folks. Experience, that's what you need, okay? So price before it happened, folks, it's not hindsight. There's no hindsight. All I outlined to you live in front of here. And the thing is, our indicator didn't outline this setup here, right? Did it? It didn't. So that's the reason I'm telling you not to rely on an indicator completely. Rather focus on building your experience with your own freaking eyes. If you can use your own freaking eyes, you don't need an indicator. Guys, 300 people watching. Can we get to 300 likes? Can we do that? The rejection that you see here in a clean day, you won't see it. You will see like price coming down, hitting our TP in like just a couple of minutes. In a clean day, you don't do that. So I think I will take a partial here. Now the price is rejecting. I'll take 2 off, 1 off, 1 contract off here. And let me take a partial on my live account because I don't like the rejection. I know price will come down, but no one's like stopping me from being safe, right? So another partial done. And now that I took another partial, I will move my TP down below this low right here. Even if price is coming out and taking me out, very less that I care, because my stop loss is in my entry and I got 2 partial. So should I care? No. Everything was shared with you, folks. I basically shared with you in details. I took you, like if you have been following my stream, I took you in every details before price did something. And once I got the confirmation, I told you that I see a trade idea based on the explanation that I shared with you all. Did you heard me like saying anything else or like saying one thing and then saying another thing. No, I always point my trades, my idea in one direction. So that's the law here, right? And you can see how price got rejected from this rejection block. That's the reason I'm taking more partial than I usually do, okay? In my usual trading day, in a good trading day, I only take one partial and then I let my entry run to the TP. But here, look at the condition, folks. That's the reason you should be like you should be safe. You should consider every level of price to give you partial. Like look at this low here. This week right here is our rejection block, right? So that's what we don't want to see. That's the retail stuff. Retail will think like, okay, that's a week here. So what I want to see, price not going below this week, rather just coming down here, right, and making a double bottom, so that I can buy. So what retailers are gonna do? They are gonna buy right now. Every retail trader, they will buy here, and what they will target this swing high, or they don't know about fair value gap, so they will not take partial, right? So that's the benefit with ICT concept. You know where to take a partial. You are not just blindly trading like retails. So that's the reason like I'm taking more partials rather than like letting my trades run to the TP. So I will also outline this for you. If some of you are very new here, they are learning. So yeah, if I can help in your learning a little bit, that will also inspire me to do more of the live stream. Because folks, I'm just sitting here from 8:30, right? Before 8:30, I started the stream at like 8, and I'm continuing for like 4 hours. So if you're not learning from it, like what's the point of me sitting here doing commentaries? No, nothing, right? So that's a major level of buy side liquidity that price took on US 500. So buy side liquidity slash equal high. And price generated a higher high, then took this equal high, right? So that price also generated new higher high. So these down close candles becomes our breaker block. Once price closes the candles body below it, you can execute at the second candle right here with a stop loss above the midway, right? If price is aggressive like this, you can put your stop loss above the midway or above the upper quadrant of this breaker block. If you don't know what is the upper quadrant or what is a lower quadrant, it's something like this. You measure the breaker block. Where's our upper quadrant? Here. So you can put your stop loss here or at the midway. If price is coming up, right, and going above the midway, it's your trade idea is wrong. So why hope? So that's the law here. I didn't eat anything, folks. I'm literally like craving inside. I really want to, I think I'm gonna eat some cereal. So just watch how price behaves here, and I'll just make my breakfast now at 11. Okay, folks. So yeah, I'll come back. Just watch how it behaves. So folks, do you guys see an inversion here? That's a BC, right? So that's a failed BC. It provided support for price here, and then price went below this BC. So this BC is failed. Now it's an inversion. So what I'm gonna do right now, right? I'm gonna mark this BC, and that's the reason I put my stop loss above it. I forgot to tell you guys, right? So above this inversion, I don't wanna see price coming up and going above it. That's the reason my stop loss is here. Okay, and do you guys see these up close candles here? So that's also an order block. So if price is coming up, it should not go above this order block. If it's going, then our last place where we want to see price getting support is this inversion. If it does not respect it, our trade idea is wrong. So I just hope. That's the reason I put my stop loss in entry. So I got two partial, very less that I care now, but I think price will come down again. Why do you think like that, Hydra? Do you guys see how price generated equal low here? Right? So let's see if price rejects and comes down. Price is basically respecting rejection block a lot today, this week, and the other week. So you can see that on US 500 there was a setup, right? But this setup is not being respected by US 500. Price closed the candles body below. Price went below, got support from this fair value gap, from this CB, but no respect. Then price moved aggressively, generated equal low here. That's a very clean low. That's another chance for retails to buy. So what I'm gonna do, if this inversion is not holding price, right, I'll close my trade here. That's an inversion, and let's see if price gets rejects from the midway of this inversion or the upper quadrant or the midway. If it does that, like, our trade idea is still valid. So I will put my stop loss. Where's my stop loss? Why can't I move it? Okay, closed, guys, closed. This trade is closed. Let me close it on my live fund. Yeah, closed. So price gave us two partial, right? And I closed it here. You saw me closing it. And my first TP was here though. Like here, that was a 2R move, right? My stop loss was below, above here. And that's a 2R that price delivered perfectly. I took a partial here. When price, this candle was like getting support, I took another partial here. So two partial that price gave me in this trade. So basically I took like 80% of my position off. So I made like 1.8 R. So there was only like 0.2% for like 2 hours. So I'm happy. I made money today. I didn't lose any money. Do you guys saw me? Like the trades that I took here in front of you, one trade that I took, it was on demo. Then I took this trade. I told you guys that I'm taking it on my live funds. So I took one trade. That one trade gave me two partial. And do you guys saw me how I avoided manipulation? Do you guys saw it? I only took a clean setup that gave me two partial, right? So that's something that I cannot like tell you how I know it. If you can understand it by my commentaries, that's good. But other than that, I don't know the language to tell you. Because that's something that comes with experience, folks. If you don't have the enough experience, it don't work. So if I show you the execution and all that business, right, let me take you guys on the 5-minute chart. So that was the execution. Sniper execution, no drawdown basically. After I executed in the market, price didn't did any drawdown. That move was like towards the downside, but it was in a high resistance liquidity run. Right, there was a fair value gap. This fair value gap is where I took the partial, and then a partial here again. So this trade gave us two partial, and if you were like taking this trade on 1 minute chart, right? Suppose I didn't looked at 1 minute chart. I was talking with you guys and I was like, yeah. So suppose I took it on here and I would have put my stop loss here. The partial that I took here, the first partial is 1.7 R. The second partial that I took is like 2.48 R on 1 minute chart, but I took it on 3 minutes, right? So basically I got like 1.8 R, and I'm happy with that. No loss on my live funds. On demo there was loss, so who cares on demo or not. So yeah folks, that will be it for today. I think should I continue tape reading? Let me know in the chat. Do you guys want to see me continuing tape reading and pointing out to you the macro that we have on PM session? Because I see it's here now only 300 people, so there's not many people here. Yeah, okay, I will keep doing it. Today I'm feeling really good, you know. Like yesterday was a really bad day for me. You guys, if you guys know, I closed my live stream early yesterday, so there was an emergency. So I had to go there. So whenever I remembered that, like it breaks me down, the things that happened yesterday. That's the reason I'm like talking about charts and I'm spending time with you all, because once I close this chart, okay, the thing that happened with me yesterday, it will kill me inside. So that I don't want to do that. So I will be just with you guys tape reading. Let's see if I can point out another trade with high probability setup. But I'm not gonna push any button today on my live funds. If I do push the button, it will be on demo in front of you like this. Yeah, I'm eating and I'm doing commentary plus I'm also eating. So okay folks, listen, look at US 500. US 30 is gonna beach now, so hide US 30. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. On I'm eating though, I'm eating and then I'm looking at the chart at the same time. So that's our equal buy side liquidity that price did, and our midway of this fair value gap comes here, right? So I told you guys that if price rejects from the midway here, it will provide us a clean setup. That will be a strong confirmation for us, right? So what we are gonna do right now is 11:30. Our next macro starts at 11:50 and it's last till 12:10. So let's see if price rejects from this midway. If it does, and if the time aligns with our setup, what we are looking for, okay? First time, then a liquidity hunt, then a setup, okay? First time, then liquidity hunt, then target, then setup. That's how I trade. If you have been watching me, you know it already. Time is the mother of everything. Time, then what? Then liquidity hunt, then what? Then target, okay? And then what? Setup. So setup comes at the end. After I get a lot of confirmation, that's when I execute. And you saw me, I told you guys, when I was in that trade, I told you that I'm taking this trade on my live funds. When I say something like this, it's like basically it's a strong confirmation or a strong trade for me. So just know that. So what I'm expecting to see is a rejection from the midway here. And if I talk about the ticks, right, how many ticks that trade gave me, it will be more than 80 ticks. You saw it, I think it will be 80 ticks, right? Yes or no? I think 70 to 80 ticks, that's what that trade provided us. So I'm gonna drop down to the 5-minute chart and I'm gonna wait and see if price rejects from 0.5 and 0.75. That's our premium zone, okay? If we take the measurement of that fair value gap on US 500 from that 4-hour chart, right? That's our premium and discount zone. So 0.5 and 0.75 is our premium zone. So let's see if price reject from here, and if price present us any clean setup at 820. Sorry, I'm addicted to my first macro. Anyway, at 1150 to 1210. US 100, just like look at the move that US 100 did towards the buy side. So I also measured US 100. I measured the week on US 100, right? And I wanted to see a rejection in price from this week, but no rejection was provided. No breaker block setup was provided on US 100. That's the benefit with breaker block. You guys, like, once price closes a candlestick body below the breaker block, that's when you engage. Before that, you don't engage on. And on US 100, if you drop down to like 3-minute chart, you won't see price closing a candlestick body below the breaker block on US 100. So basically, breaker block is a kind of setup that saves you. So let's see how price behaves, and that's a swing high here, another big week. So I'm also gonna measure it, and I'm gonna wait and see if price closes a candlestick body below it. So I started my live stream with a bias of sell side liquidity, right? And you guys saw me, even price is delivering aggressively towards the buy side. Did I took any setup on buy side? No. Even on this aggressive move towards the buy side, I pointed out a setup in front of you that delivered 2 partial on sell side, right? So that's how I trade. Like, to me, it doesn't matter if price is delivering towards the buy side aggressively. If I know what to look for, when to look for, I can take a trade. So I'm gonna wait for US 100 to hit the week, the levels in the week, and then I'll have a clean analysis on US 100. And US 500, you can see the price is rejecting from this midway. I've been literally preaching to see a rejection from this midway, and it's happening. I'm still gonna wait and see how price behaves from this midway. I need a strong confirmation, okay? I do see a breaker block here though on 1-minute chart. So let me outline it to you. If our time matches with this breaker block, I will execute. Okay, let's toggle on the breaker block. Lux, this indicator pointed out a breaker block here. Beautiful though, but I don't know if you can execute here or not. But this indicator did quite a nice job. He made it really nice, right? He, like Lux Algo, he is top of his game, and you can see it how beautifully he made it. That's a lower low, right? Price came down, took the lower low, went above, closed the candle's body above the breaker block. So what's by our rule, we can engage at the second candle, right? So that's what this indicator is doing basically. It's following my rule to the tick, and it's also giving you signal here, and then a partial at 1 to 2R. Sorry, first TP at 1 to 2R. So if I do something like this, our execution here, stop loss below the breaker block, right, or below the indicator where indicator is showing. So our 2R is here. The next take profit is 3R, 4Rs, and price delivered beautifully. You can see here, and it also points out which zone is premium and discount. That's a premium PDR, right? If you are taking a trade bullish, like you are long, you are doing a long from a breaker block, this indicator will plot a premium PDR, so you can close your trade there. Suppose you are holding till here, it would have been a 5R trade just based on the indicator signal. So this indicator is lit, you know. But I'm not gonna use this indicator.
So that's our breaker block. I'm gonna outline it to you. Breaker block. Okay, let's see if his indicator is pointing it to you now. So his indicator doesn't see this breaker block here. I think he need to work a little bit more here. But anyway, he did a very good job. So Luxalgo, if you are watching my live stream, thank you for doing that. So let's wait for a candle's body closer below this breaker block, and let's wait and see if our time matches with our setup. If not, I will close my stream here. I have no interest to go to do more stream. Like, I need a break, okay folks? Like, I'm tired. So this will be it. If price present a setup here, I'll take it on demo. If not, I'll just close my stream and I'll be done for today. So let's see how price behaves. Let's see if this candle gives us a gives us a chance to enter. I'm waiting to see how this candle behaves. After that, I will have a clean analysis. Okay, so it will be something like this. Our stop loss here, okay, above the breaker block, and that would be our 2-hour target, right? And the partial would be here. I'm not gonna take this trade, okay? Just an analysis. It's not a strong confirmation. So let's see how price behaves. Okay, it also generated a fair value gap here. That's a fair value gap. Okay, if I mark it for you, you will be able to see it. So if price is coming up and getting support from this fair value gap, it's okay. That's what it can do. But if it's going above this fair value gap, that's what it should not do. If it does that, like, our trade idea is not valid. So I will put my stop loss here, okay, above this last up close candle here. So these, all of these candles here, these are our breaker blocks. So I think it will reject nicely from this fair value gap, right? if this candle is not rejecting from this fair value gap like immediately, it's a wrong trade idea. From this breaker block, I want to see a immediate rejection from this breaker block, not consolidating inside this breaker block, a clean rejection towards the sell side. So yeah, this trade idea is wrong, but let's wait and see how this candle behaves before I do close, right? The way it's behaving, if I was in this trade, if I was trading, I would have closed my position. Now that I'm just outlining a setup to you, right? I want to see how price behaves, and this 5-minute fair value gap, which fair value gap? Does the 5-minute fair value gap not look bullish to you, Hydra? Which 5-minute fair value gap you are talking? This fair value gap, it does not look bullish to me. If you are asking me, no, it does not look any bullish to me. Why? Because I do see a lot of unfilled fair value gap. That's a fair value gap that is unfilled. That's another fair value gap that is unfilled. And below that, we have relative equal lows right here, right? Relative equal lows. So that's the reason I'm not expecting a bullish price action. But if price does that, like my trade idea is wrong. Very less that I care. Like I'm not taking this trade live or even on demo. It's just a setup that I outlined, and I want to see if price respect it or not. We are getting close to our macro. 11:50 is when our macro starts, right? So this setup I outlined to you before the macro. That's the reason I didn't push the button here on demo. Now that price is going below this fair value gap, right? I want to see this fair value gap support price towards the sell side. Let's see if it does that or not. Maybe not. Yeah, I'll close this trade. So that's it for today, folks. Like if you enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up, and that's gonna be it for today. I outlined to you a couple of setups, right? And I did took a setup in front of you in my live funds, and I told you guys that that's a very high confirmation setup that I see. So let's see how that setup pans out. And that setup gave me 2R in front of you. We saw it. The other trades that I took, it was on demo, just testing out our ideas, right? Building our experience. That's it. And that will be it for today. If you learned anything, smash the like button, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow at 8:15, just like today. Take care. Bye bye.